Let's jump right into the story. Our main guy is standing in the Lu mansion, sweating bullets. And no, it is not just because the summer heat is intense enough to melt the pavement. He is clutching his awakening certificate like a complete nightmare. Right there in giant, mocking letters F-rank Gunslinger, the literal bottom of the barrel. The absolute toilet of profession rankings. Once monsters invaded, regular firearms became completely useless. Basically like throwing soft pillows at a heavily armored tank. And those fancy spirit energy guns? Just one costs way more than a regular family makes in 10 years. So, yeah, becoming a gunslinger is basically the universe laughing and saying good luck. Absolute loser. Now, Uncle Lou, the guy he called dad for 10 whole years, is sitting right across the fancy leather couch, puffing his cigar like a total discount villain. This man promised his fallen parents he would raise him just like his own son. Spoiler alert, he definitely did not. Lou coldly states he just awakened as an F-rank gunslinger. He claims the Lou family is not a charity. Wow, his parents gave everything saving him. But sure, let's complain about resource allocation. Then his awful wife, Wang Lan, jumps right in, having waited 10 entire years for this exact moment. She leaps off that couch so fast and starts aggressively poking his arm with her bony little finger. F-rank trash. We fed you for 10 years. Her precious daughter just awakened as an S-rank saint. You are probably feeling the same anger. I am watching her call him completely useless baggage right now. Then comes the daughter, Manu, walking up in her pretty white dress, glowing with pure spiritual energy, just like some kind of fake angel. She hits him with a soft smile that basically screams, I am way better than you, period. She says talent can never be forced, telling him not to blame her parents. Gee, thanks for the advice. Super helpful. He tries fighting back, reminding them his parents were completely destroyed because they were too busy saving Uncle Lou from certain doom. His response? Slamming the table, yelling at him to stop living off of past heroes and old favors. Then Wang Lan, and I am not even making this up, literally throws cold cash right at his feet. 2,000 yuan, treating him like a stray dog, getting tossed scraps, demanding he vanish before sunrise. Never show your unlucky face here again. He just stares at the scattered money, then at these awful people. Uncle Lou, cowardly turning away. Wang Lan staring like he is literally dirt stuck to her expensive shoe. Manu playing with her glowing fingers, smirking like she just won the genetic lottery, which she absolutely did. 10 whole years of walking on eggshells, swallowing brutal insults, endlessly hoping they would remember his parents' massive sacrifice. All of it instantly shattered. He is 2 seconds away from completely breaking down, when suddenly, a crisp ding echoes. Wait, hold up for a second. What is happening right now? You and I both know what happens when a main character hits absolute rock bottom, right? The secret cheat system finally activates after all this time. He could have done this years ago. His heart starts pounding furiously, practically vibrating right out of his ribcage. All that previous despair evaporated, instantly replaced by the glorious, fuzzy feeling of total cosmic overcompensation. Wang Lan kicks the money at him again, yelling about why he is just standing there. But he looks right back with the calmest eyes imaginable, completely calm, like a guy who just unlocks the ultimate cheat code for life. Keep your worthless money. Every single yuan. He will remember those 10 years, but they will never truly repay the ultimate life-saving debt. Then he turns right around and walks out, spine completely straight, head held high, zero looking back. Behind him, Wang Lan screams he will starve, while Manu keeps proudly monologuing about how talent is everything in this world. Uncle Lou is probably stressed, smoking his expensive cigar to a nub. He steps right outside. The cool night breeze hits him, stars everywhere. For the first time in 10 years. Pure, genuine freedom. Gunslinger is supposed to be trash? Looking up at the sky, he smiles. A confident smile that screams, you have no idea what is coming. System, draw. The exact second he says draw, a massive glowing wheel explodes into reality like some wild, overpowered game show. And oh, boy, this wheel is fully loaded. Hundreds of top-tier mythical passive skills rapidly spinning around. Weakness, gaze, infinite firepower, gun mastery. Names so incredible he literally forgets to breathe. Skills here range from normal, advanced, epic, legendary, to mythical. Legendary skills are already insanely rare, almost practically impossible to ever find. Mythical skills? Those only exist in bedtime stories. Yet here he is, with an entire wheel of them, spinning faster. Everything becomes a blind blur of golden light. Boom. He has to read the screen 3 times because his brain completely refuses to process it. Trust me, you and I need to watch this. Gunslingers are called trash simply because spirit energy bullets cost a fortune. 10 credits per bullet. One tiny monster fight burns through thousands of rounds. Tens of thousands of credits gone instantly. Normal families absolutely cannot afford that kind of cost. Nobody can. But me, I just got infinite spirit energy bullets for free. Forever. I could turn a cheap, rusty water gun into an absolute weapon of destruction. Stick with me. Watch this massive limitation snap right off his wrist like a cheap bracelet. I needed a gun immediately. Yesterday, I spotted a 24-hour internet cafe and ran inside. In our country, civilians can own guns, but awakened individuals buy exclusive weapons through the official Awaken Mall online. Even lowest-tier gunslingers like me get access. I logged in, opened the weapons page, and my excitement faded away faster than my social life. The cheapest spirit energy rifle, 20,000 credits. Machine guns, millions. I scrolled all the way to the bottom and found the Nova P1, a super basic starter pistol. Black, ugly, and incredibly simple. Handles monsters under level 10. Price, 10,000 credits. I check my account. Balance, 325. 325 credits. Basically, I was totally broke. I sat there doing desperate math. Get a restaurant job, 20 credits an hour, 10 hours a day, 200 daily. I would need 50 days. Borrow money from who? I'm just a total nobody. I honestly started thinking about selling a kidney on the black market. Then, the universe finally felt bad for bullying me. A bright red pop-up ad appeared on screen. Urgent hiring. West City Goblin Sewer cleaners needed. 5,000 credits guaranteed per run. The Goblin Sewer. I remembered this from school. It is the lowest ranked F-class dungeon in the city. So pathetic. It is literally nicknamed the place dogs avoid. The goblins inside are level 1 2 3. No loot worth mentioning. No self-respecting awakened person would touch it. Cleaners are basically the janitors. You go in after real fighters finish, drag out fallen goblins, and deal with any random stragglers. Dirty, disgusting, dangerous, and only truly desperate people sign up. But I saw those numbers. Watch closely. 2 runs means getting that gun, and finally testing my insanely broken cheat skill. I filled out the application so fast, my fingers almost caught fire. 30 seconds later, my phone rang. Lou, gruff voice, absolute zero patience. Yes, West City Abandoned Factory, Gate 3. Half an hour. Do not be late. Click. I grabbed my jacket and sprinted. The abandoned factory was incredibly creepy. Broken streetlights, total silence. Basically, the whole scary horror movie starter pack. At Gate 3, I found my new boss, Lehu. Picture this guy. Greasy tank top, tiger tattoo on his arm, cigarette dangling right from his mouth. A face that looked like it was assembled from spare parts. Charming fellow. He looked me up and down, saw my uniform, and just laughed. You are a freshly awakened gunslinger. That class is basically useless. But hey, so is this work. You two are a perfect match. Honestly, after my family roasted me for hours, your weak insults hit exactly like a gentle breeze. He stared at me, waiting for a reaction. I just stared right back. He got uncomfortable first. Good. Follow me. Everyone is already down there. Stop wasting time. He violently yanked open an iron floor plate. And oh, sweet mother of mercy, that smell. It hit me like a brick wall. Pure, concentrated, award-winning stench. Spoiled garbage mixed with sewage mixed with regret. We went down the stairs into some nasty ankle-deep mystery liquid. You and I both know exactly what it was. And definitely not just water. Even a dog would shake its head and leave, I thought. After a few minutes, we reached an underground chamber where 4 guys in gray jumpsuits were squatting around, smoking like their lives depended on it. Lehu introduced me. New guy Lou, just awakened today. Gunslinger. A tall, skinny guy looked up and instantly burst out laughing. Where did you find this kid? He will absolutely cry the second he sees a monster. A short, chubby guy quickly joined in. A gunslinger with zero money is worse than us garbage collectors. They all cracked up. A real comedy club down here in the literal sewer. I said absolutely nothing, just looked at them with the emotional range of a brick wall. Lehu eventually told everyone to shut up and tossed me a wrinkled gray jumpsuit and a black shotgun. Standard Senior's shotgun company issued piece of total junk. Good for scaring things, not defeating them. You are on perimeter watch today. 5 shells in there. Make them count, because there are absolutely no refills. The cold metal hit my hands and something happened. Heart jumped. My fingers wrapped around the grip like they were literally born to be there. The weight, the curves, the worn wooden stock. Everything fit perfectly, like this gun had been waiting for me, like it was always supposed to be part of my own body. You and I know the truth, though. They have no idea. Those 5 shells just became completely infinite. My hands racked the shotgun before my brain even told them to. Pure instinct. Like I had been doing this in a past life. Stick with me. That shell loaded and ding. SRS. Shotgun detected. 0 grade. Mythical passive. Infinite magazine unlocked. Current ammo. Infinity. Standard shells automatically converted into glowing spirit energy shells. That little symbol. Absolutely gorgeous. My totally useless standard pellets just got a massive free upgrade into magical destruction orbs. I held that shotgun so tightly my knuckles turned pale, shaking like a little dog on espresso, but out of pure joy. What are you smiling at, fool? Get dressed. We are working, Lou yelled. Right. Play it cool, Lou. Do not let them know you just became the most broken hero in history. I tossed on the jumpsuit and followed the crew deeper into the sewer. And trust me, deeper is absolutely never a direction you want to travel down there. The lights faded, the awful smell multiplied, and that mysterious ankle-deep sludge just got noticeably thicker. My nose completely hated me right then. We finally reached a wide-open space, with 8 or 9 defeated goblin monsters scattered all around the damp floor. Leftovers from an Awakened team's earlier run, already ruined and turning dark. Just lovely. Get to work, Lou shouted. The guys grabbed sacks and started stuffing monsters inside like the absolute worst holiday elves ever. Meanwhile, I had guard duty, walking the perimeter with my shotgun ready, scanning every shadowy corner. Then a loud screech hit. 3 massive green figures launched right out of the shadows. Now, the textbooks describe goblins as tiny, knee-high little gremlins. Very annoying, but totally manageable. Do not blink, because these beasts were human-sized, insanely muscular, swinging rusty, nail-covered clubs, and staring with glowing red eyes, full of absolute rage and endless hunger. What the heck? These are goblins? My eye literally twitched. Lou instantly turned pale as a ghost. 3 of them. Here is the sad truth about our cleaning crew. Most guys are not even awakened. The single awakened person among us, that tall, skinny guy, holds the legendary class of waste scooper. Yes, his grand ability is scooping garbage faster than normal humans. Devastating combat power? Absolutely 0. On a great day, they might defeat 1 injured goblin together. 3 healthy monsters? That is game over. The fastest goblin charged directly at this older, gray-haired worker. The poor guy's legs totally gave out. He collapsed into the sludge, squeezed his eyes shut, and accepted his end. Full. It was a great life mode. Not on my watch. Boom. The shotgun kicked wildly, the loud blast echoing forcefully off every single wall inside that dark tunnel. A massive spray of steel, wrapped in gorgeous blue spirit energy, slammed right into the goblin's gut, blasting a giant hole completely through it. Everyone completely froze in shock. Lou's cigarette almost dropped entirely. You and I both know this junkie company weapon was useless minutes ago. But now, infinite ammo passive turned every single shell into an explosive spirit energy round, instantly destroying that beast. The terrified worker opened his eyes, realized the new kid just saved him, and scrambled out of that sludge so insanely fast, he basically invented a brand new Olympic swimming technique. But those 2 goblins were already charging. Lou did exactly what any brave leader would do. He yelled, "Retreat," and sprinted away first. Absolute employee of the year material right there. Everyone else followed, tripping over themselves, totally abandoning those bags in a full panic stampede. The monsters focused their aggro completely on me, which perfectly helped their escape plan. Kid, do not fight. Come with us. The old worker shouted back while running away. In his mind, I held 1 gun with 5 shells. Once empty, I was totally finished. Ah, if only he knew the real truth. I planted my feet, racked the slide, and aimed at the injured beast. Boom, point blank. Half its body completely vanished. It crashed into the sludge, twitched twice, and was gone forever. Leave him. If he wants to fall, that is his problem. That waste scooper grabbed the old guy and dragged him out. Nobody even looked back. To them, my story was already completely over. Meanwhile, the final two goblins were completely furious. Their buddy became modern art, and they demanded payback. They split left and right, rushing me from both angles. I smoothly sidestepped, kept my distance, and fell into a perfect rhythm. Click, clack, boom, click, clack, boom. Glowing spirit energy pellets sprayed outward in wide arcs, running side by side. Those two basically begged to get hit. Zero room to dodge. 3 more blasts and they both looked exactly like Swiss cheese. Down they crashed. Sure, a manual pump action shotgun is not exactly rapid fire, but when you possess infinite ammo and magically supercharged shells, it absolutely does not matter. This rusty piece of trash became a monster erasing machine in my grip. 5 shots, 3 goblins, completely handled. My heart was hammering, not from fear, but the absolute rush. This is what true power feels like. Standing victorious over 3 defeated beasts, ankle deep in sludge, holding a garbage company weapon. Trust me, you are gonna love what happens next. I cracked the chamber to check. Full, every slot loaded, a golden shell sitting pretty, exactly like nothing even happened. Stick with me here, we're witnessing the greatest cheat ever. Infinite ammo. Click, clack, loaded, ready for action. Meanwhile, upstairs, my co-workers were having an absolute, total panic attack. They slammed that iron plate shut and completely collapsed on the ground like dirty laundry, just wheezing, sweating, and thanking the heavens. That kid is definitely finished, right? The skinny guy asked, trembling. Duh, obviously he is. 5 shells against 3 goblins. The math is terrible, the chubby guy snapped. Old Wong, the man I saved, sighed super heavily. Poor kid, way too young. What a massive waste. Li Hu punched the wall. This night is completely cursed. So, we going back in? Back in? You wanna get wiped out? We are done. Go home. Wait for real awakened heroes tomorrow. And just like that, they all scurried into the night. One fallen rookie down below. Just a regular Tuesday. Not worth the extra paperwork. Except, huge plot twist, I was very much breathing. Standing over 3 defeated goblins, smiling at my shiny system panel like an absolute maniac. 15 experience points already banked. Not a huge amount, but baby steps. I peeked deeper into the tunnel. Shrieks echoed out from the pitch darkness. More goblins waiting. Well, I'm already ankle deep in absolute sludge. Might as well get my full money's worth. I grabbed a dropped flashlight, pressed my back against the wall, and kept sneaking deeper. Look, I have endless ammo, not unlimited health. If 10 goblins jump me, I'm still becoming a human chew toy. So, stealth mode fully activated. 2 goblins suddenly popped out, blinded by the flashlight. They barely had time to show their fangs before. Click, clack, boom, click, clack, boom. Both face down in the muck. And then I just kept moving. For 10 minutes straight, that sewer turned into my own personal shooting gallery. Every dark corner, every single side tunnel, goblins popping out like an insanely ugly whack-a-mole game. And I held the hammer. 15 goblins down. Turns out that awakened team who cleared this place earlier were just a bunch of massive slackers. They took out the obvious ones near the entrance, decided the loot wasn't worth it, and bounced early. Lazy heroes, meet the grateful janitor. Also, for me, this dungeon's monitoring system broke forever ago. The cleaning company totally had no idea how many monsters were actually crawling around down in here. Their loss, my personal exp. Buffett. Then at 80 points, the sound shifted. Heavy footsteps. Super heavy. Now, pay attention. This is where things get completely wild. A shadow stepped out from the darkness. This absolute beast was double a normal goblin size. Muscles stacked on muscles, carrying a giant machete that really wanted to end my entire heroic existence. Level 2 Goblin Warrior, the literal mini-boss of this trash dungeon. Stronger, tougher, but slightly slower. A tiny mercy. I raised my shotgun. It raised its blade. We had a moment. Then I fired first, because I am not an idiot. Boom. Pellets hit its lower half, splashed water around. It did basically absolutely nothing. Come on. This garbage shotgun's effective range was shorter than my patience. The boss roared and completely charged. Blade raised. Full berserker mode. Retreat? Nope. I charged it. You and I both know that sounds totally crazy. Shotgun damage gets exponentially way better the closer you get. Plus, with infinite ammo, I just kept blasting while running. It is not bravery, it is pure math. Click clack boom, click clack boom, bam. Gunfire lighting up the dark tunnel just like a strobe light. Each shot hitting way harder up close. The goblin kept pushing through my wall of pellets like running into a raging hurricane. 20 meters, 15, 10. This gun barrel was getting so incredibly hot, I could probably cook breakfast on it. At 5 meters, practically literal kissing distance, I gave it the maximum blast, straight to the face. Half its head completely vanished, instantly departed to goblin heaven. It toppled into the sludge with a massive splash. I felt right in my soul and shoes. 10 more points to level up, 10 points away from my next mythical skill pull. I was seriously, practically vibrating with sheer excitement. Clang, clang. 2 more giant goblin warriors squeezed out of a narrow tunnel ahead, blades scraping the walls, glowing eyes, locking onto me like laser targeting systems. Most people would panic. I just smiled. Perfect timing, boys. 10 meters away, perfect shotgun range. Like they wanted to get wrecked efficiently. Boom. First shot tore open the front one's armor like a cheap zipper. Boom. Second shot punched clean through, finished before it even hit the floor. Swung my barrel right to the second monster. Boom. Boom. Green sludge and messy stuff completely painted the ceiling. Its head basically ceased to exist as a concept. Timber. 2 bosses down. An instant delivery straight to the next life. Congratulations. Leveled up to level 2. You earned 1 god tier passive skill. Pull. Draw it now. Standing in a sewer totally covered in goblin splatter. Shoes ruined beyond salvation. Gun barrel hot enough to brand cattle. Trust me, I have never been happier. Draw. That golden wheel exploded into view. Let's see what happens next. Let's dive right in. You and I are about to witness the ultimate cosmic slot machine spin. Round 2. Let's see what epic skill drops. The wheel spins. His heart skips a beat. Slower, slower, and locked. Jackpot. Mythical passive skill, gun extension. He forgets to breathe for 5 whole seconds. Time for some quick gaming. Math right here. His basic shotgun has a 25-meter limit. Eliminate 100 targets. Range doubles. 1,000. He will be sniping targets from the next zip code. This rusty museum piece just got an epic growth plan. With enough eliminations, it will outrange actual sniper rifles. Imagine a shotgun blasting from hundreds of meters away. The developers clearly never tested this broken build. He stares right into the dark abyss ahead. Goblin screeches, echoing everywhere. And his only thought? This isn't a dangerous trap. This is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Meanwhile, up on the surface, those Awful-X co-workers are enjoying dinner in their cozy little shed. Stale bread rolls and salty veggies. Living the dream, right? They hear endless gunshots echoing, but just keep brushing it off. Who farms goblins this late? The chubby guy grumbles. He figures it must be an elite squad prepping for tomorrow's big exam. Li Hu declares with total confidence, but old Wong pauses mid-chew. What if it is that kid? He is a gunslinger. Impossible. The skinny guy laughs. With just 5 bullets? The goblins already turned him into a calcium supplement. Lu shuts the chatter down. He tells everyone to eat faster, since they have to collect the fallen tomorrow morning. Watch closely, here's where it gets wild. Those gunshots. Steady, relentless, and way too organized for random rookies. Lee's eyebrow twitches. He completely convinces himself it is just another team. 100%. Definitely not the doomed kid with the trash class. He shoves bread into his mouth, trying desperately to ignore the truth. Back down in the sewer. Yeah. He owns it now. Our guy is having an absolute blast. After clearing those level 2 warriors, everything else is just level 1 beginner mobs. Basically, walking experience. Panadas. 5 more goblins rush from the shadows, waving rusty clubs like the world's absolute worst welcome committee. His eyes are completely adjusted to the pitch black now. Even the moss is crystal clear. He can spot individual drops of murky water falling. He sees these clueless monsters coming from an absolute mile away. Welcome, sweet experience points. Single file, please. He waits a second, counting the exact distance perfectly. 20 meters, 17, 15. Boom, perfect strike. The goblin pops like a giant green watermelon. It runs 2 more steps before gravity kicks in. Let that sink in for a second. Every single elimination makes the next one easier. The ultimate snowball effect. The remaining 4 rush into close range. He goes full speed, firing so fast his arms are basically a blur. Click, clack, boom, click, clack, boom. 2 more just burst like party balloons filled with bright green paint. The remaining 2 actually hesitate. Genuine fear in a goblin's eyes, but sheer hunger overrides their survival, and they charge anyway. Click, clack, boom. 3 down, 1 left, and this smart guy turns tail to run. Oh no, you don't. You are not an experience point. Getting away. Click, clack, boom. A flawless shot straight through the target, sending its skidding face first right into the murky sewage. 5 for 5. Flawless hits only. Absolute chef's kiss. He is sweating pretty intensely right now. Not from fear, but the sheer volume of shooting. This bargain bin shotgun was never designed for this intense abuse. The barrel is glowing red like a space heater. It might literally explode, which would be an incredibly embarrassing way to go out tonight. After surviving everything else. Then, he looks down at the disgusting black sewage right by his feet. Gross. Absolutely vile. Perfect. He dunks the glowing barrel straight into the murky sludge. Hiss. White steam erupts like he is forging a legendary sword. Except, instead of a mountain spring, it is literally goblin toilet water. But hey, it works beautifully. The temperature drops, the mechanism stays dry, and the shotgun is ready for round 2. Absolute genius engineering right there. While the gun cools, he catches his breath and peers deeper into the dark tunnel. More screeches, more shadows, and way more walking experience waiting to level him up. The night is still young, infinite bullets, an ever-growing range, and a sewer packed with monsters way too foolish to run away. Just one thing on the list: eliminate, level up, stack range, repeat. He will keep going until the shotgun hits different time zones. Weapon cooled, time to plunge deeper. More goblins appear instantly, including 2 massive level 2 warriors mixed with the usual grunts. His reload is smooth as butter. You and I just witnessed pure gaming art. Click, clack, boom. That is his personal theme song. Now, 2 shots per warrior. Stick with me here, because this dungeon run gets wild. Moving like an absolute pro after just 3 hours. Then, jackpot. A massive room packed with a dozen goblins scrapping over some mystery meat. Plus, 2 elite warriors in the mix. Hiding behind a corner, I aimed my flashlight right at the center of the mob and clicked it on. Every single monster snapped their heads up. 12 pairs of glowing red eyes locking onto me. Surprise, idiots. The first warrior rushed in. 2 blasts, chest, then throat. Dropped. The second warrior went totally berserk. 2 more blasts, also finished. Then, the 10 remaining level 1 goblins flooded forward like a green wave. I just strolled backward, blasting them calmly and methodically, like mowing a lawn, except this grass screams and has sharp teeth. Click, clack, boom, click, clack, boom, click, clack, boom. Defeat alerts flooded my vision like the world's most intense spam folder. The last goblin fell, and boom, level 3. Gun extension at 36%. Effective range, 34 meters. New god tier spin available. Spin now? Oh, absolutely. Let's spin that glorious golden wheel. Blinding light, pointer slowing down, and congratulations. Mythical passive unlocked. Infinite damage amplification. Mythical effect. Every takedown increases your equipped weapon's damage by 1%. Stacks infinitely. 0 cap. Let's pause for a second, because my jaw actually dropped here. Check out this build with me. Skill 1, infinite ammo. Skill 2, infinite range. Skill 3, infinite damage. Every single weakness a gunslinger has is totally gone, obliterated, deleted forever. And not just fixed with 0 upper limits. The more enemies I defeat, the stronger I get, forever. It's a snowball rolling downhill, except the hill has 0 bottom, and the snowball is made of nuclear warheads. Give me a solid weapon and a few thousand takedowns, and I could literally blast a hole in the sky. I glanced at the goblins still scurrying around the deeper tunnels. They used to be monsters. Now, they were literally walking stat boosts with legs. Little green gift bags full of range and damage percentages, just waiting to be unwrapped by my trusty shotgun. For the next 30 minutes, I went on what can only be described as an industrial-scale goblin recycling program. By the end, extension hit 71%, damage amplification 35. My trash shotgun's range jumped from 25 to 43 meters, and its damage boosted by a third. This thing was literally evolving in real time, a junk weapon having a character arc. Then I reached the very bottom, a massive circular chamber glowing with magical stones embedded in the walls, and right in the center, facing away, stood the absolute biggest goblin I had ever seen. 2.5 humans, tall, just bulging muscles on top of even more muscles, a black horn helmet on its head, gripping a rusty battle axe, currently snacking on something I purposely chose not to identify. Level 3, Goblin Commander, the boss of this dungeon. I slowed my breathing and crept closer, 35 meters, just inside my boosted range. I aimed right at the back of its skull and pulled the trigger. Boom! The blast smashed into its head, sending that horned helmet flying across the massive room like a toy frisbee. The beast roared, spinning around, face heavily damaged and eyes burning with pure, unbridled rage. And then it actually spoke. Human, you wiped out my people. I will tear you apart. I know what you're thinking. A talking goblin. Totally not terrifying. It charged with that giant axe, and I opened fire. Continuous and relentless. Click clack. Boom. Click clack. Boom. Click. Clack. Boom. Blasts hammered its massive body over and over, but this monster was tough. Each hit only left shallow marks on its thick hide, like throwing tiny rocks at a truck. The impact staggered it, though. Every shot made it flinch and lose momentum. When it reached within 10 meters, I immediately switched my tactics. Forget the head. This boss had an armored skull anyway. Instead, I aimed low. Kneecaps. Boom. Right knee. The massive boss stumbled. Boom. 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 Same knee. 3 more times. Now, it was limping incredibly badly. The commander went absolutely nuclear with rage, swinging its axe wildly, and chasing after me with everything it had. But that is the beautiful thing about wrecking someone's knee. The angrier they get, the harder they try to run, and the worse that injury gets. It was basically just defeating itself. I just kept backing up and shooting, patient and calm like a matador. Except instead of a cape, I had an infinite ammo shotgun, and instead of grace, I had smelly sewage up to my ankles. 2 minutes of this combo, and its left leg was completely finished as a functioning body part. It stumbled, losing balance, and in that one beautiful moment of pure vulnerability, I raised the barrel right to its forehead. No helmet this time. Sorry, big guy. Boom. Skull cracked open like an egg. The massive body lurched forward, face planting into the sewage with a giant splash that probably registered on local seismographs. The mighty dungeon boss, ladies and gentlemen, defeated by a level 3 rookie holding a dumpster shotgun, ankle deep in absolutely the worst smelling liquid known to mankind. Mom, Dad, your boy's doing just fine. The boss hit the ground and my brain exploded with victory notifications. Level 4, extension, 72%, amplification, 36. What do you and I do now? Another spin on the golden wheel of broken abilities. Draw. The system spun. Slower. Stop. Stick with me, he just landed a mythical passive. Spirit energy penetration. Every single shot now pierces through targets and totally ignores defense. I need a second. Pierces through targets. Ignores defense. So if a whole bunch of goblins line up to charge me, which they absolutely love doing, my shots rip through the first, into the second, and right through the third, like a total kebab of pure destruction. And it doesn't matter how thick their skin is, or what armor they wear, nothing works. My shots treat defense like a tiny suggestion. Let me double check this. Infinite ammo, infinite range, endless damage scaling, and now, full armor piercing penetration on absolutely everything. I am starting to feel like the universe is finally apologizing for the past 18 years of my life. Apology accepted. While standing there having a total religious experience, I noticed something glowing bright green inside the defeated boss's shattered chest. I kicked away some messy goblin pieces. Very appetizing, I know, but I found a shiny crystal the size of my fist. A Goblin Commander magic core worth 15,000 credits. 15,000 from one ugly monster. I practically hugged this gross rock. I instantly remembered that sweet semi-automatic shotgun from the online shop, the Storm K2. 3 times better than my current trash in every way. Price tag is 30,000 credits. With this magic core and tonight's cleaning pay, I was getting close. Very close. I pocketed that core like it was made of pure diamonds and started the worst part of my night cleanup duty. For the next few hours, I dragged fallen goblins right into bags, one by one, packing every single one. The smell was so horrible. I think my nose totally gave up and quit halfway through, but every single monster meant more money. Level 1s, 200 credits each. Level 2 warriors, 1,000 each. Final count, 111 goblins. 8 warriors, 1 huge commander, boss. The small fry alone were worth over 30,000 credits. Then add the magic core. The single night in the sewer earned me nearly 50,000. The Storm K2 wasn't a dream anymore. It was a real shopping list item. By dawn, I dragged every single bag right to the entrance. Over 100 stuffed sacks piled up like the world's most disturbing, smelly mountain. Now watch this. The heavy iron plates scraped open above me. Sunlight poured in, and there they were. Lehu and his terrible crew, coming back to collect the fallen rookie. The chubby guy spotted me first. His cigarette actually just fell out of his mouth. What the heck? He is still breathing. They all leaned over, seeing me stand casually before Mount Goblin, looking like I just finished a massive shift at the absolute worst factory on Earth. 120 goblins, I stated, completely flat. 8 level 2 warriors. I kicked the absolute heaviest bag at my feet. And this one is the level 3 commander. Lehu stumbled down the stairs like an absolute zombie, opened a bag, and started counting. 1, 2, 3. His hands shook more with every single monster. 120. All there. Where's the Awakens squad that came through? He stammered. What squad? The one shooting all night. We heard the heavy gunfire. I just pointed at myself. That was me. You? They all shouted in perfect unison. Same pitch. Same disbelief. Could have been a literal choir. Yeah. How else do you think I survived? Their brains completely short-circuited. One guy, one garbage shotgun. 5 bullets that should have vanished after 5 shots. 111 kills, plus a massive dungeon boss. The math was not mathing for them. They decided I must have hidden in a corner while some mystery squad did all the actual work. Everyone except Old Wong, who kept quiet and stared right at his shoes. He knew better, but he was not going to argue with the group. Whatever. I didn't care what they believed. I cared about getting my pay. Lehu, just the small fry, comes to 30,000 credits, not counting the commander. So, about my pay. Something totally shifted on Lehu's face. You and I both know where this goes. The shock melted, and I watched in slow motion as ugly greed crawled right into his eyes. 30,000 credits to a bottom feeder like him? That was a massive fortune. And I was just some naive student, right? Easy to scam. He lit a cigarette with dramatic, theatrical slowness. Well, Lou, here is the thing. Temp workers without proper registration only get 30%. But since you worked hard last night, I'll round up. How about 3,000 credits? That is generous for a student, right? Your buddy Lehu taking good care of you. His goons burst out laughing, elbowing each other, looking at me like some puppy that just learned a dumb trick. 3,000 out of 30,000. The guaranteed legal minimum was 5,000. And this absolute clown was offering me 3. Old Wong just turned his head away. He really wanted to speak up. I could see his lips moving, but he didn't dare. Crossing Lehu meant losing his job, his teeth, or probably both. I just stood there, completely quiet. No yelling, no arguing, no expression at all. Just completely still. And something about that eerie stillness made Lehu's smile flicker. I saw the hair on his arm stand up. Good instinct, buddy. 30,000. I repeated it softly, like I was tasting the words. Trust me, this is where it gets crazy. I let out the quietest laugh, but every single person in that tunnel stopped breathing. The laughing died instantly, like someone yanked the power cord on a heavy speaker. Lehu, let's dive into this wild payback story together. My voice was dangerously calm, the kind that screams trouble. Easy to bully? Lehu just laughed. You are a broke student, absolute F-rank trash. I am picking on you right now. What will you do about it? His crew chimed in. Be glad you even have this job. 3,000 is super generous. You ungrateful punk. Lehu swelled with greasy pride. Take your 3,000 and leave. One more word. Click clack. The threat completely stopped. A shotgun chambering has true magic powers. Suddenly, absolutely everyone in the room stops talking. Instantly, I raised that barrel extremely slowly until the dark muzzle aimed directly between his eyes. So, what exactly can I do to you now? My tone stayed friendly, but every single bit of color instantly drained from his face, like a totally unplugged sink. Wait, you cannot blast me. This is Qingjiang City. You absolutely would not dare. His legs shook wildly, knees throwing a massive private earthquake. Blast you? I tilted my head. Who said anything about actually blasting you? I calmly lowered the barrel directly toward his greedy hand, and squeezed. Boom. His greedy hand, the one stealing my hard-earned cash, got utterly blasted away into the murky sewage. Disappeared like magic, but with zero grace. Ah, my hand. He slammed the ground, rolling, shrieking loudly, like a pig failing a choir audition. Absolute, total chaos. Now pay attention. Here, the skinny tough guy and chubby loudmouth who talked massive trash. 5 seconds ago, sitting in sewage with totally ruined pants. Old Wong stood completely frozen, jaw dropped, totally speechless. I calmly strolled right over to Lihu, crouched down low, and snatched the thick wallet away. I boldly counted the cash right in front of everyone. 40,000 credits. This pest skimmed worker wages for years, living large off pure stolen effort. 30,000 was totally mine. And the extra 10,000? Call it a huge hassle fee for my extreme trouble. Seems fair. You are finished. This is absolutely not over, Lihu hissed fiercely. I smoothly raised the shotgun, aiming again. Need me to adjust the other one too? No. Take everything. We are totally even. I smirked. Perfect. I pocketed the thick wallet and walked away without looking back. Behind me, his crew finally rushed to help. Call the cops. Cops? Awakened folks can legally carry guns. He will claim accidental discharge. The police cannot touch him. Smart guy. A terrible person, but smart enough to realize when he is totally outgunned. The Grand Awakened Association was a 32-story silver tower in the fanciest downtown sector. I walked inside, feeling like a raccoon in a 5-star hotel. The lobby was packed with awakened professionals and fancy mages. Intense warriors carrying swords bigger than me. Healers, archers, everyone glowing brightly with pure spiritual energy like walking nightlights. Can you even imagine? I stood there in a messy uniform, smelling terrible, holding a shotgun that totally belonged in a historical museum. The mean whispers started instantly. Did he crawl from a dumpster? An old shotgun? My grandpa had one. Does it even work? He is no epic gunslinger, just a lost janitor. Total comedy hour. Ignoring them completely, I walked straight to the main desk. The receptionist greeted me with a bright, professional smile that wavered exactly 1 millimeter when she finally smelled that sewer odor. Weapon sales, 3rd floor, she announced, pointing toward the escalator with intense urgency. The 3rd floor featured a massive showroom of shiny, glorious weapons. I rushed straight for the epic gun section, and there she was. The Storm K2, semi-automatic, its sleek black body glowing with faint spiritual energy. 12 rounds, 50-meter range. Lucky me, only 30,000. Today only 24,000. I will take it. The middle-aged sales guy looked at my outfit. His smile screamed, "This kid cannot even afford lunch." Great choice, sir. We offer installment plans. Cash. I slapped the thick wallet down. His eyes jumped from pity to shiny dollar signs. I think he caught whiplash. His entire personality flipped. Suddenly, I was his best buddy, his absolute favorite customer, his true retail sunshine. Right away, sir, but I was definitely not finished. Add the Nova pistol, tactical suit, light armor, holster, and 2 signal mines. The calculator went completely crazy. Storm 24,000, Nova 10,000, gear and mines, 5,500. Grand total, 39,500 credits. I paid cash like a boss. A broke boss with barely a few hundred credits left, but still a boss. Sir, spending over 30,000 grants complimentary access to our hot showers and free lunch. Best words ever spoken. And that is where we leave it. 20 minutes later, barely recognized my own epic reflection. Sleek, black tactical suit, wrapping every muscle perfectly. Glowing armor plates lighting up my chest and back. Storm K2 slung behind me. Nova P1 holstered on my thigh. Dark tactical helmet hiding half my face. Heavy tactical gloves equipped. The weak kid is gone. Trust me, we are about to watch him turn into a special forces legend right before our eyes. Both weapons instantly synced with my passives. Infinite ammo. 72% bonus range. 36% extra damage. These guns were already way stronger than the creators planned. 40,000 credits drained to pocket change in 1 hour. Totally irresponsible. But looking at myself, absolutely worth it. Then my phone rang. Unknown caller. Mr. Liu. This is the Awakened Association. A quick reminder that the newcomer exam starts today at 2 p.m. Qingjiang Sports Arena. Do not be late. The big newcomer exam, where fresh teens go to show off, chase elite university spots, and battle for epic resources. I just smiled. Everyone else was heading there to impress scouts and join fancy schools. I was going there for one reason. A massive building packed with monsters to defeat means endless free experience, range stacks, and damage boosts. It is basically an all-you-can-eat leveling buffet. And I just got shiny new silverware. I jumped into a taxi looking like a totally different human being. Qingjiang Sports Arena, please. The driver checked his rearview mirror, eyes going completely wide. Heading to the newcomer exam today? Huh? Amazing gear, kid. Every giant screen downtown was loudly blasting the flashy exam promo. Old stars defeating monsters, epic music. You know the vibe. But watch closely, because this packed arena is about to go totally wild. Hundreds of newly awakened kids buzzing around like anxious bees, comparing skills, flexing powers, and quickly forming teams. I heard the dungeon is a mutant spider nest. Toxic spiders everywhere. I am a B-rank shield warrior. I can take heavy physical hits, but poison terrifies me. Hey, relax. We have a solid healer and plenty of antidotes. I quietly filed that away. Mutant spider nest dungeon, levels 1 through 10. The final boss is a level 10 giant spider queen. For a level 4 like me, that should be impossible. But honestly, everything seems impossible. That was my whole evening, yet I am standing. Let's keep this winning streak going. Suddenly, the entire crowd completely lost their minds. It is Manhwa's rank elemental saint, top genius of Qingjiang. She looks even prettier in person. My queen. And there she was, my former adopted sister. White mage robes, walking gracefully, an angelic smile while her elite teammates trailed behind like arrogant little ducklings. Manu, this exam is totally a formality. First place is guaranteed. A yellow-haired guy was practically wagging his tail. An S rank from Qingjiang? Nobody can even compete. A red-haired girl added, nose high enough to drown in rain. Manu quickly pulled off her signature sweet and humble princess routine. Oh, please do not say that. Every awakened person has great value. I am just a little bit lucky. The crowd absolutely ate it up. So beautiful and humble. Truly perfect. I almost gagged. Then her eyes swept the crowd and stopped right on me. Her perfect smile froze like someone hit pause. Wait. Is that Liu? The loser who ran away from your family house yesterday? Yellow hair spotted me immediately. An F-rank loser dares to show up here? The red-haired girl curled her lips. He probably cannot beat a tiny spider. Everyone stared. We both know this feeling. The whispers starting up again like a broken record. F-rank Gunslinger. That trash profession still exists? He is probably hoping some blind teen takes pity on him. Who would want him? Pure, useless wait. I ignored all their trash talk and kept walking toward the inner arena. Wait. Manu's voice called out. Sweet as candy, cold as ice. Liu, what are you doing here? I stopped. Turning around, farming the dungeon. What? Did you think I just came for sightseeing? She quickly put on her concerned face. The exact one she practiced in mirrors. I truly think you should give up. A D-rank dungeon is way too difficult for an F-rank. Gunslingers with no ammo who get trapped in close range are more fragile than paper. She paused. A very dramatic, fake, generous pause. Because you lived with my family for 10 years and were nice. There could have been a spot on my elite team. But unfortunately, my friends here are all B-rank minimum, and I am aiming for first place. So, sorry. The fake sympathy was so thick, I could literally spread it on toast. You done talking? She blinked, completely shocked. Cool. See ya. I turned to leave and stopped. Oh, wonderful. Daddy, Liu arrived. Liu Shang in his fancy suit, doing his power walk. Several Awakened Association big shots trailed right behind him like a loyal entourage. The man was definitely putting on a show. Dad. Manu ran to him like a puppy. He marched up to me, face completely full of heavily rehearsed disappointment. Liu, last night I gave you some simple advice, and you just stormed out without saying a word. What? Your feelings got hurt? So now, you are throwing a childish tantrum to prove yourself? I laughed. We know he is a massive hypocrite. Let's dive in. Lu Shanxiang fixed his collar, instantly switching to Oscar-level acting. He cranked his volume up so the entire crowd heard him. Lu, how can you say that? Last night, I was just trying to help you face reality, but you slammed the door and vanished. Aunt Wang and I begged you to stay. Many even ran out after you. We fed you, clothed you, and paid your school fees for 10 years. This is your payback? The crowd instantly turned on me. Disgusted glares and shaking heads everywhere. Ungrateful brat was written all over their faces. Many jumped right in on cue. Lu, I chased you, but you were gone. I know your awakening rank was awful, and you were hurting, but my dad was only protecting you. Do not misunderstand him. Father-daughter tag team. Flawless coordination. They stamped an ungrateful traitor label on my forehead in under 30 seconds. I stood there, fists clenched tight. Last night's highlight reel playing back. Wang Lan screaming that I was garbage, tossing cash right at my feet. Lu and Shang, claiming useless folks should know their place. Many smirking with pure superiority. That happened less than 24 hours ago. Yet here they stood, performing a ridiculous soap opera about how much they truly cared for me. The audacity was almost impressive. Almost. I laughed softly. Watch closely. This is the exact laugh that silences crowds. Stepping forward, I stared straight into Lu Shanjiang's eyes. Who is the one calling me totally useless just yesterday? Who claimed my parents' heroic sacrifice was paid off after 10 years of meals? Who tossed 2,000 yuan down and told me to vanish before sunrise? His eyes flickered for a split second, but he recovered quickly. You are twisting my words. That was tough love. I wanted to motivate you. Motivate me? My tone went sharp enough to slice glass. Motivating meant calling me trash, clinging to lost parents' favors? I pointed at my fresh gear, head to toe, every piece bought with my own sweat and tears. Well, mostly goblin slime. Everything I am wearing, I earned myself. Not 1 cent from the Lu family, and your so-called 10 years of kindness? You cashed that out when you tossed me like garbage last night. But my parents' debt, sacrificing everything to save your life, that is a tab you will never repay. Every single word landed like a massive slap across Lu Shanjiang's face. The huge crowd went completely silent. You could hear a pin drop, or in this case, a reputation shattering. People instantly started whispering around us. He called the kid useless for clinging to his lost parents' favors. He threw 2,000 yuan at him like a beggar. Wait, does the Lu family actually owe this kid's parents something huge? This is way better than television drama. Lu Shanjiang's face cycled through 15 colors in 2 seconds. He never expected his quiet doormat to wear dirty laundry in front of half of Qingjiang City. You are totally lying. He jabbed a finger at me, his voice cracking. I never said that. Everyone, ignore this nonsense. Yes, I said some harsh things. But that is tough love. F-rank Gunslinger. Does anyone here think that has potential? I was just helping him face reality. Honestly, it was a decent performance. A solid 7 out of 10 for fake sincerity. Some people in the crowd actually started buying it. Well, he has a point. F-rank truly is hopeless. Guardians say harsh things when worried. Does not mean they lack care. Maybe Lu is just overreacting. Then Manu activated her secret weapon. Tears. Right on cue. Her eyes turned red, squeezing out the most perfectly calculated drops of sadness I have ever seen. Dad, please do not be upset. He is just confused. She turned to me with an expression so full of wounded innocence it belonged in a museum. Lu, how could you say these things? Do you not remember how much Dad valued you? He even pulled strings to find you an office job at the association after your bad result. How can you make up lies to hurt the people who love you most? The gullible crowd swung right back toward them instantly. Father plays heartbroken dad. Daughter acts as the kind mediator. Absolute tag team perfection. They had done this before. I know what you are thinking, but here is the thing about liars. They always forget what they said behind closed doors. See, last night, after I awakened, I stood outside that door much longer than they realized. And I heard everything Wang Lan said to Lu Shan. Our family awakened an F-rank waste. If people find out, they will call us a charity for raising losers. How will Mu face her rich friends? We raised him 10 years. That is more than enough. Now, he is a bottomless pit. Are we supposed to feed him forever? And Lu Shanxiang never pushed back. Not a single word. Because the fire was already burning inside him, Wang Lan simply lit the match. My smile grew much colder and wider. Lu Shanshang, do you dare swear to heaven you did not say those things last night? Dare you swear you did not kick me out because my F rank made me useless to you? His eye twitched violently. Swear? Of course, he could not. You were twisting everything, he managed. Twisting? Trust me, you are going to love what happens next. I stepped closer, locking eyes. My family's debt? How exactly did you repay it? I raised you for 10 years, fed and clothed you. Isn't that enough? Enough? Trust me, you'll love this payback. My voice boomed across the lobby like thunder. Not even close. I turned. Every confused face, every judgmental stare, every person bouncing back and forth between trusting me or him. I gave them the truth. All of it. 10 years ago, who dragged this man from a monster's claws at the ultimate cost of their own survival? Who traded 2 lives for his one? My parents. They sacrificed everything so Lu Jian could survive. Those are his stolen hero favors. 10 years, he used the resources my parents earned with their absolute limits to climb the ranks. Became a high-level association executive. Lives in a mansion. Gets total respect everywhere he goes. And me, their only son. I spent 10 years in his house, being glared at by his wife, mocked by his daughter, treated like a complete stray dog. They were just too embarrassed to toss me. And the second I awakened a low-rank profession, the moment I stopped being useful, I became trash, clinging to fallen heroes' favors, tossed out with 2,000 yuan like garbage. So tell me, Ji Yunzhang, was raising me your grand generosity, or just the cheapest possible payment for the 2 souls that saved yours? The arena went so incredibly quiet, I could hear my own heartbeat. Every single face in that massive crowd was completely frozen, jaws hanging wide open. The shocking truth hit them. My parents sacrificed themselves, saving Lu Jian. The Lu family did not adopt me out of kindness. They owed 2 lives for 1. That is absolutely not charity. That is a debt that can never be fully repaid. Now pay attention. Here, everything. Lu Jianzhang just performed the concerned dad act. His daughter's tears all completely fake. Instantly, the crowd's looks toward the Lu family changed. All that admiration, gone. The respect vanished, instantly replaced by sheer disgust, suspicion, and that specific look people give when they realize a con artist just played them. Lu Jianzhang was absolutely destroyed. He looked like a man completely exposed under a harsh spotlight. Every single lie peeled away, every dark secret fully exposed. His precious reputation, the one thing he cared about more than my parents' ultimate sacrifice. More than an orphan's well-being, ripped to absolute shreds in public. You are making baseless accusations. His voice was a dry croak. There were circumstances. It was not like that. Oh, circumstances? I smiled coldly. Like what? That my parents weren't strong enough and got themselves taken out, or that you deliberately used them as human shields. I didn't. He was practically screaming now, thick veins visibly bulging right on his forehead. Manu had gone totally white as paper. This was her family's absolute deepest secret, the one she was firmly told to never ever mention. In the fake version she grew up hearing, parents' tragic end was an accident, and taking me in was pure, incredible generosity. You and I both saw this coming, right? That pretty little story was getting torn apart in front of her fans, and she completely panicked. Lin Wei, that is enough. She frantically shrieked. Why do you always have to drag up the past? We raised you for 10 long years. Doesn't that count for anything? Why are you so determined to destroy our family's reputation? I laughed. A real laugh. The kind that comes from a place so deep, it's half grief and half absolute fury. Your precious reputation? When you coldly threw me out at midnight, were you thinking about your shiny reputation then? When your entire family sat on that couch enjoying everything my lost parents paid for, calling me a waste and a jinx, did you think about what would happen today? Manu, drop the act. The innocent saint routine makes me physically sick. She flinched hard, like I just slapped her across the face. Right then, booming voice cut right through the heavy tension. Silence. The newcomer exam begins right now. All participants proceed to the inner arena immediately. An association official approached, a high-ranking badge shining proudly on his chest. His eyes swept over the tense scene, paused on Lu Jianzhang's executive pin for exactly half a second, and the look he gave was absolutely unmistakable. I heard everything, and we will be discussing this later. Lu Jianzhang grabbed onto that sudden interruption like a desperate man grabbing a lifeline. He shot me one final venomous glare and hissed, "This isn't over, Lin Wei." Then he practically sprinted away, dragging a ghost white Manu and her totally shell-shocked teammates right along with him. I watched them go. The exact moment I decided to say all of that out loud, I knew it meant one absolute thing. So what do you and I take from this? Total separation from the Liu family. No obligations. Just a massive debt they'll never pay. And a brutal reckoning that just started. I took a deep breath, shoved all my intense emotions into a tight box, and finally walked toward the inner arena. I only got 2 steps before the official who broke up the drama completely blocked my path. "Student, hold on." He looked me over, checked my contestant number, frowned. "You are Lin Wei, F-rank Gunslinger?" I slowly nodded. "I am Zhao Zhang, chief examiner for today's test. I heard most of what just happened out there." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "The association will investigate Executive Lu Jianzhang. But right now, during exam hours, keep your personal grudges separate, and do not do anything reckless with your own future. Alright? You and I are diving into something wild. I think you are a reckless teen rushing this dungeon, and I hate doing the elimination paperwork." Fair assumption. Wrong, but totally fair. I know my exact priorities. He stared into my eyes for a moment, shifting expression, totally expecting a weeping emotional mess. Instead, he got whatever unstoppable force I am now. A guy who spent last night turning 100 goblins into pure confetti. Honestly just hyped for the free experience points waiting inside. Good. Go find your assigned area. The massive arena inside was absolutely buzzing. Thousands of awakened teens packed a giant dome, radiating intense nervous energy. Teams huddled together, whispering clever tactics, bright weapons and armor glowing everywhere. It felt like a fantasy convention where everyone was actually dangerous. My assigned spot was the sad corner, where all the D-rank kids sat, looking like they already accepted their fate. Compared to the shiny elite squads across the arena, we honestly looked like the discount clearance section. Then there was me, sitting totally alone. Now, pay attention at team exams like this. Going solo means one of 2 things. Either you are incredibly powerful and need nobody, or you are so pathetic nobody wants you. The F-rank Gunslinger badge on my chest made their assumptions totally obvious. Is that guy sightseeing? He wants to solo the spider nest. The spiders will eat him alive. The poor guy won't last 3 minutes in there. I completely ignored them, claimed my sad corner, sat down, and closed my eyes, mentally checking my epic inventory. 1 shiny Storm K, 2 semi-auto shotguns, 1 Nova P, 1 pistol, and Old Faithful. The Epic Seniors Junkyard Special that already eliminated over 100 monsters tonight. Not bad for a waste. Excuse me. I slowly opened one eye. A cheerful, chubby kid stood right in front of me, nervously holding his helmet, wearing pretty decent tank armor. Behind him stood a tall skinny guy and 2 girls. A full 4-person squad. "Are you really going in alone?" the chubby kid asked. "Problem?" "Oh, no. I am Qinhao, D-rank shield warrior. That is Liam Mo, D-rank rogue. Sun Sha, D-rank archer. Wang Ting, D-rank healer." He proudly gestured at his crew. "I wondered if you might temporarily join our team?" His teammates reacted like he just suggested adopting a rabid raccoon. Liam Mo grabbed Qinhao's arm tightly. "Are you completely insane? Those worker spiders are crazy fast. This F-rank will get instantly wiped before he even aims. We definitely do not have the resources to babysit." The archer quickly piled on. "We already lack burst damage, and you want to add a gunslinger? Low damage, ammo problems, basically dead weight. No thanks." The healer stayed totally quiet, but her face was loudly screaming, "Absolutely not." Qinhao tried his best. "Look, all the genuinely good DPS players are taken. Nobody else will join us. At least he is an extra body. He can draw aggro, throw flashbangs, something. One more person is better than nothing, right? Draw aggro." He is not drawing aggro. He is basically delivering takeout to the spiders. Liam Mo snapped. Qinhao turned back with an apologetic smile. "Of course, our team splits loot by contribution, so you might not get much. The polite version of, you are just filler, expect absolutely nothing." I looked at this well-meaning, chubby kid, and felt pretty annoyed. Not at him specifically, though. He honestly seemed like a genuinely decent person. You and I both know this feeling. The charity invite, the pity recruitment, the tag-along offer, if you just accept being completely worthless. It reminded me way too much of the Liu family's brand of generosity. Theirs was fake and incredibly cruel. This one was real, but naive. Either way, I absolutely didn't need it. No thanks. I work alone. Qin Hao's mouth fell open. He had extended a nice hand to the class loser, and the loser actually said no. I could practically hear his entire brain rebooting. Liam Mo burst out laughing behind him. Huh? See? So ungrateful. Let's go. Stop wasting time here. Qin Hao finally recovered enough to nod quite awkwardly. Okay then. Good luck. They walked away. I heard their annoying complaints fading into the crowd noise. You are too soft. Why bother with that? Complete waste. He will get eliminated in there anyway. I closed my eyes again. Enjoy thinking that everyone who has underestimated me so far has had a seriously bad time. And those dungeon spiders? They do not know it yet, but they are about to become the biggest stat donation in the history of this newcomer exam. All contestants, dungeon portal opens in 5 minutes. Final preparations. The entire arena suddenly erupted. Everyone jumping up, frantically checking gear, tightening straps, doing that nervous pre-battle shuffle. I just stood up and stretched like I was going for a jog. Then I noticed a huge commotion ahead. Manu and her crew were proudly strutting toward a VIP entrance lane, because apparently S-rank geniuses always get to skip the line. Of course, they do. She must have felt me staring, because she stopped and turned around. Our eyes finally met across the arena. Her expression was a whole buffet of emotions. Anger, resentment, and the deep embarrassment of exposed family secrets. Trust me, you and I absolutely want to see what happens next. Yellow hair spotted me next. Wow. Look at this ungrateful loser. He actually showed up. Let me guess, nobody wanted him? So shocking. His shrill laugh could honestly make dogs in neighboring cities flinch. Stick with me. You and I will watch this crowd enjoy the drama. That is the guy who insulted the Liu family. An F-rank gunslinger picking fights with the top genius. Does he really want to be completely destroyed? The red-haired girl joined in, arms crossed, glaring down at me like I was sticky gum on her shoe. Weren't you acting super tough earlier while running your mouth? Now look at you, sitting alone in the corner like a sad little bug. She gave the crowd a fake smile. Hey, everyone, want to bet? I bet this loser will not last 10 minutes inside the dungeon. Who wants 10 minutes? You are being way too generous. I give him 5. Yellow hair cackled loudly. Manu just stood there watching me like she was planning my ultimate downfall. She did not stop them. Why would she? In her mind, I was already finished. If the spiders did not end me, the Liu family connections would finish the job later. Everyone eagerly waited for my reaction. The crowd wanted drama. Her goons wanted tears. Manu expected me to crumble. I slowly raised my hand and extended one specific finger, the middle one. Then I mouthed 3 words nice and slow so everyone could read my lips. Just wait. And then the arena went completely mental. Did that F-rank really just flip off the S-rank saints? Yellow hair's brain literally short-circuited. This trash dares insult Manu. Once inside, I will completely destroy him. Red hair vibrated with pure rage. He is entirely finished. Done. Absolutely finished. Manu's chest was heaving. Her face went straight from Ice Queen to Volcano. She had never in her pampered S-rank. Everybody loves me lifestyle. Been flipped off by someone she considered completely beneath her shoe. Fine. Now pay attention. You and I will see exactly what this F-rank waste can do. Right on time. The ground cracked wide open, and a massive silver magic circle lit up. A 10-meter wide oval portal shimmered right into existence, swirling with deep darkness. Connecting to another dimension, the spider nest dungeon. First batch, enter now. Manu shot me one final poisonous glare, whipped around, and marched her team into the portal. Gone. More teams immediately followed. I saw Chunha's group getting ready. Liamo glanced back at me one last time. See. That guy is a lunatic. He just declared war on the Liu princess. Good thing you ignored him, or we would all be targets. Shanha sighed deeply, gave me one highly complicated look, and led his team right through the portal without a single word. Now, it was my turn. I walked forward alone. 1 guy, 2 guns, 0 teammates. My silhouette standing against that giant glowing gate honestly looked quite dramatic in a very lonely, tragic kind of way. The crowd's reaction was completely predictable. Pity and mockery. People were actually betting on how fast I would lose. But you and I know this is definitely no farewell march. An F rank running solo inside a D rank dungeon. The spiders will not even try. Honestly, in a totally normal world, they would be absolutely right. The newcomer exam eliminates people every year. Weak ones get devoured. Strong ones survive. That is how this world works. Good thing my world stopped being normal about 12 hours ago. I stepped into the portal. Reality violently twisted. Light completely disappeared. My stomach did a backflip. When my vision cleared, I stood in a massive underground cavern. Sticky webs were everywhere. Ceiling, walls, and floor. Thick white silk covered everything like the worst interior decorator. Went totally crazy. Wrapped up bodies of unknown creatures hung from the webs like grotesque ornaments, slowly being digested. The floor was extremely sticky with some biological slime that made disgusting squelching sounds. With every single step, and that noise, thousands of tiny scratching sounds echoed from every direction, like an army of insects crawling across solid stone. Because that is exactly what it was. Any normal rookie would have been totally paralyzed with fear. I simply looked deeper into the cave. Then I saw them. Hundreds of glowing red dots in the darkness ahead. Tiny, terrifying, paired up eyes. The very next second, an absolute flood of mutant spiders the size of large dogs came pouring out. From every crack, shadow, and surface, walls, ceiling, floor, they rushed toward me like a living tidal wave. Dozens of them, maybe more. This insane density of monsters was way beyond what a D-rank dungeon should have at the entrance. This was no normal spawn. This was an absolute fatal trap. Someone intentionally set this up. I unslung the Storm K2 and racked the shell. Well, let's see how many stat stacks I can get from you all. A fatal trap just for me? How very thoughtful. They gathered all the experience points in one spot, so I would not have to look for them. The customer service in this dungeon is truly excellent. I pulled out the Storm K2 and checked its stats. With all my passives fully applied, this E-rank shotgun hit like a weapon to tiers higher. Attack boosted 36%. Range stretched from 50 to 86 meters. Infinite ammo. Trust me, you and I will see every pellet punch through armor like it does not exist. Stick with me here. You and I are about to see ultimate pest control. The very first spider lunged. A level 1 mutant worker spider, legs wide. Acid dripping and melting holes right into the floor. Super scary, and honestly, super dramatic. Boom. One shot. The shotgun blast fanned out like a wall of absolute ruin. The spider didn't just drop. It completely shattered in midair. Shell shattered like a dropped plate. Green slime spraying backward. But here's where it gets beautifully insane. Spirit energy penetration meant those pellets didn't stop. They blasted right through spider number 1 and kept going. Spider 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Trigger pull. 8 spiders totally deleted from existence. My notification feed turned into a waterfall times 8. The rest of the swarm didn't care. The messy aftermath actually made them way more excited. They charged harder, faster, climbing right over their fallen friends. Bad move. Boom, 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 boom. The Storm K2 is semi-automatic. That means zero pump action between shots. Just pull, 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 pull. My finger worked like a machine. Each blast covered a fan-shaped zone of pure annihilation. Every shot crushed multiple spiders because the pellets kept piercing through body after body after body. No reloading ever. An infinite magazine meant the gun kept feeding shells like pure magic. Now watch closely. The biggest weakness for any shooting, running totally dry on ammo, simply did not exist for me. Aim, fire, aim, fire. That was my entire job description. The cavern turned into a zone of absolute ruin. My absolute wreckage. Gunfire echoing off every wall. Spider pieces flying in every single direction. Green fluid pooling on the ground like the world's most disgusting swimming pool. Charge, drop, charge, drop, charge, drop. The spiders had exactly one strategy, and it was not working. Meanwhile, my amazing passives were stacking like crazy. Every single takedown pumped both range and damage up by another %. And with this many targets, numbers were climbing. Range hit 100%. My weapon's distance doubled, reaching over 100 meters. A 100-meter shotgun. Just let that sink right in. Then damage hit 100%. Every pellet now did more than twice the original damage. I pulled the trigger again. Boom. This shot was entirely different. The pellets flew further, hit harder, and left a visible shock wave rippling through the air. Spiders that caught the blast head-on simply ceased to exist. The ones clipped by the edge of the spread still had half their bodies completely blown apart. One shot cleared everything in a 30-meter cone, just wiped the slate totally clean. You and I know this wasn't pest control anymore, an extinction event. The surviving spiders, maybe 30 left, stopped charging. For the first time, these brainless monster bugs felt something totally new. Fear. They skittered in place, hissing nervously, trying to decide if attacking me was worth the increasingly terrible odds. Spoiler alert, it absolutely was not. I stepped forward toward them. Boom, boom, boom. 3 shots. The very last cluster of spiders vanished in a wild hurricane of pellets and green mist. Silence. Complete. Absolute silence. The cavern floor was totally carpeted in spider remains. Legs, shells, and slime. Green fluid running in little rivers between the rocks. The air was so thick with the smell of ruin, I'd practically chew it. Post-battle stats scrolled right across my vision. Gun extension, 202%. Range, 151. Damage, 166%. Insane. On a shotgun, I could hit things in this cave that I could not even see. Plus, every single pellet hit nearly 3 times harder than factory settings. Then golden light erupted right from under my feet and washed through my whole body. Fatigue disappeared, energy fully restored. I looked around the empty cavern. Hundreds of defeated spiders. One standing human, and not a single scratch on me. Somewhere up in the arena, people were betting I would fall in 5 minutes. It has been about 10, and I have already run out of things to smash here. But first things first, your boy needs a new passive. First things first, I check my totally awesome new stat panel. Level 5 is when every awakened person finally gets to see their real numbers on paper. Strength 12, Agility 15, Constitution 11, Spirit 13, Perception 14, Health 110, Energy 130. Pretty decent F rank. But let us be honest, my real power is not in these baby numbers. It is the 4 mythical passives turning every bullet into a pure force of nature. Speaking of which, golden wheel time. Draw, spin, glow, stop. A mythical passive, life amplification. Every victory instantly restores full health and permanently adds 1 constitution. Absolutely no limit. Infinite stacking. I stared at that incredible description so hard, I think I burned it into my retinas. Every single takedown means full heal, plus permanent health boost. The gunslinger's other famous weakness, besides ammo, is being super squishy. 1 hit, and you are completely done. Paper armor, glass cannon. Without the cannon, people say. But with this passive, every monster I delete makes me permanently tankier. Forever. Clear enough things, and I will have more health than actual tank classes. Trust me, we just created a walking fortress. Shooting infinite bullets at triple damage from 150 meters away. And the instant full heal. I am basically invincible as long as targets are nearby. A regenerating blast cannon. Stick with me here. This unstoppable battle machine is wild. But then, a truly terrible thought hit. I just defeated 90-something spiders before unlocking this passive. 90 constitution points completely wasted. 90 permanent health upgrades. I will never get those points back. If only this dropped 1 draw earlier. I actually winced. Well, plenty more bugs remain inside. I checked the Storm K2. Barely warm. E rank. This beauty could handle sustained fire without turning into a glowing oven. A massive upgrade from the seniors, which would absolutely be begging for a quick retirement by now. Deeper inside the dark cave, those thick webs got heavier. Some wrapped figures hanging on the walls were actually still twitching. The foul smell went from terrible to legendary. Then I heard footsteps. Slower, way more deliberate. 3 massive spiders the size of bulls crawled down from the ceiling. Thick legs going clack, clack on stone. Their ends were pumping out silver silk threads. Level 2 mutant web spinners. Health 180. Defense 30. Special skills include web trapping and fatal binding. Control type monsters. The absolute nasty kind that pin you down for their friends to feast. Normal folks would panic, but watch this. Boom. First one shredded completely. The other 2 tried flanking me from both sides. Huge tactical strategy. Except my shotgun's effective range was over 150 meters, covering an area the size of parking lots. Boom, boom. both eliminated before finishing their brilliant tactical maneuver. That is life amplification fully kicking in. Full heal, plus 3 permanent constitution points from 3 rapid takedowns. My health bar instantly jumped from 110 to 140, just like that. 5 pitch-black spiders suddenly appeared, much bigger than those web spinners. Purple-black abdomens practically oozing poison. The cave air got so incredibly toxic. I could see it. Level 3 mutant poison spiders. Health 220, defense 40. Skills include venomous bite. They immediately spotted me and wildly charged with piercing shrieks. I just walked forward. Boom, boom, boom. A few seconds later, 5 wiped out spiders. My damage was so completely inflated that level 3 monsters popped like water balloons. My constitution literally jumped from 11 to 19 in one single dungeon run. Health nearly doubled. My shotgun max damage set at to 74 with the 155-meter range. I am an F-rank gunslinger, but I am absolutely the most dangerous thing in this cave right now. Then from deep inside the tunnels, human screaming echoed out, "Help! I am stuck here. I cannot hold them back. Healer, heal me now." Looks like someone else's dungeon run was simply not going as smoothly as mine. I racked a fresh shell and headed toward the noise. Not playing hero, but wherever people are falling. There are usually tons of monsters roaming closely nearby. We both know monsters are just walking stat upgrades. I casually followed the screams and turned a corner. Surprise! Chunha's squad was getting utterly destroyed. The chubby tank stood front holding a chewed-up shield resembling modern art. One of his legs was pouring out bright green toxic fluid. His face resembled completely expired milk. Behind him, Liam Mo, the useless burden himself, was helplessly flailing his daggers around, basically accomplishing absolutely nothing at all. The archer girl was plinking arrows, doing roughly 20 damage per hit, which on these giant spiders felt like a gentle massage. The healer was entirely out of mana, frantically digging through her backpack with shaking hands while a level 3 poison spider swiftly crept up from the side and wildly pounced. Fangs out. The bitter end was approaching. She tightly closed her eyes. Boom! The spider exploded mid-leap. Shells, legs, and completely warm mystery fluid heavily rained down on the healer. Covered entirely in spider smoothie, she slowly opened her eyes, looking straight toward the gunshot. There I was, casually walking from the shadows, shotgun smoking hot. The useless waste. The exact guy they harshly rejected got one perfect shot off before he could aim. Hi! Every single spider in the room immediately forgot Chunhao's team and locked straight onto me. Dozens of red eyes turning in unison like I deeply insulted their mothers. They completely abandoned the 4 easy meals, wildly rushing me instead, because even mindless bugs recognized the real threat. Run! Chunha screamed loudly at me. They are all coming your way. Run! I just stepped forward. Boom! Boom! Each shot was a localized apocalypse, firing expanding fans of pure spirit energy pellets that totally shredded right through spider after spider after spider. That crazy penetration effect literally meant nothing survived a line. First spider, totally erased. Second spider behind it, also erased. Third one hiding behind that, believe it or not, erased. A few simple breaths, that was absolutely all it took. The massive swarm that had their team begging for mercy was completely wiped clean. Nothing remained but a floor completely covered in green modern art. Trust me, you. And I felt that pure silence. That is impossible, Liam whispered, staring at the aftermath like his brain paused. His dagger just hung limply in his grip. Let's dive right into this glorious ego check. His face kept flashing red and pale, absolute shock battling pure shame. Every single insult he threw was haunting him right now. Cannot last 3 minutes. Absolute dead weight, acting as spider snacks. Each memory struck him like a heavy boomerang of pure embarrassment. My lone shotgun dealt way more damage in 5 seconds than their whole squad managed entirely. It was not even close, completely different leagues. Chunhao swallowed hard, totally stunned. Thank you. I just stared at the 4 battered, poisoned, and terrified students. Completely out of resources. I stayed silent, simply strolling past them and pushing deeper into the cave like they were just random pebbles on the side of the road. Mere background decorations. That icy silence, me completely ignoring their entire existence, hit infinitely harder than any loud trash talk ever could. Liam Mo and that archer girl looked like they wanted the floor to consume them. Wait, Shun Hao shouted frantically. It is dangerous ahead. We should. But I was already gone, swallowed by the shadows. Now watch closely. They just stood freezing, processing that insane flex. Shun Hao finally snapped out. Stop standing around. Drink your potions right now. Bandage those wounds. He chugged a healing potion, wrapping his leg. The archer girl spoke with a shaky voice. So, do we keep going? Keep going where? Liam hissed. We almost lost everything. Deeper means elite monsters. Even he cannot one-shot an elite. Following him means doom. But staying here is doom too. Shun Hao fired back, pointing at the spider shells. This dungeon is way harder than expected. We cannot survive alone. Our only chance is trailing him. He paused, softening his tone. At least behind that guy, we might actually live. The healer and archer exchanged a quick look, nodding. They saw my insane power. Tailing a walking artillery cannon was way better than standing in spider territory with 0 mana and a totally cracked shield. Liam opened his mouth, closed it, and finally just gave up. Yeah, pride means absolutely nothing when you were one bite away from becoming permanent cave. Decorations. Off they went, awkwardly limping after the supposed trash who just saved their lives without even stopping to say, "You are welcome." After saving Shen Hao's squad, I kept pushing way deeper, racking up another massive pile of fallen spider bodies. 7 web spinners, 6 poison spiders, completely deleted. The numbers were just getting ridiculous. Now, range and damage boosted. Constitution absolutely through the roof. Health reached 330 from passive stacking alone. Level 6. More importantly, new golden draw. Blinding spin. The result? Mythical passive. Weakness. Gaze. Hit a vital spot. Instant finish. Miss the vital spot? Every third shot triggers an instant knockout anyway. I had to process that. Instant knockout. Hit the weak point. Enemy falls. Miss it? Does not even matter. Every 3 shots, something gets deleted. I know what you're thinking. The universe saw my stats and totally deleted the concept of enemies surviving. With massive damage boosts plus an auto-execute every 3 hits, nothing here stood a chance. Honestly, nothing in the city could tank me now. Even a boss 10 levels higher would last 3 shots maximum. Yeah, eats might be slightly overtuned. I admitted to nobody, pressing deeper. The cave grew nastier, with webs thick as arms. Fallen adventurers hung from the damp walls. The air felt foul and thick. Classic boss room vibes. Great interior design. One final turn, and the tunnel opened into a cavern sized like a stadium. In the middle sat the main attraction, Mutant Spider General, level 6D rank elite. Over 5 meters long, black armor plating covered its body like a living tank. 8 legs like thick tree trunks, and 8 crimson eyes glowing like cursed rubies. Defense maxed. Skills include Ground Slam, Web Bind, and Berserk Mode. A true elite monster. Its health bar displayed percentages instead of numbers, always signaling a painfully long fight. That crazy defense would completely shut down most awakened fighters at this current level. They literally could not pierce that thick armor. But I had spirit energy penetration, in defense a totally fictional concept. Plus, weakness gaze made massive health bars a purely temporary condition. 3 shots maximum. This massive elite was already finished. It just had not been informed yet. I raised my Storm K2 only to formally introduce myself. Boys, move. The elite is right here. A squad of 5 burst from a side tunnel in a full sprint. Gleaming equipment everywhere. The leader wore silver armor so polished it was basically a mirror, carrying a blue glowing longsword that probably cost a literal mansion. Ming Tao, heir of the Ming family, one of Qingjiang's 4 great powerful families, a rank swordsman, and famously Lu Manu's biggest bootlicker. So, what do you and I make of this guy? Trust me, he is about to get a massive reality check. He finally noticed me, doing a massive double take. Stick with me here. I could practically read his mind. The absolute trash kicked out of the L house. How is he here? He looked me over, glanced at my weapon, and instantly decided I must have gotten this far through sheer, unbelievable, dumb luck. Yeah, right. I just tripped and accidentally defeated 200 monsters. Happens all the time. Then Shanna's group stumbled in right behind me, battered, bandaged, looking like they just crawled through an absolute war zone. Mang Tao saw their busted gear. His face shifted from confusion to pure contempt instantly. Oh, I could see the mental math happening. To him, a squad of broke nobodies meant I got carried. He seriously thought I hid behind Chunha's team this whole time. Adorable. Do not worry, he announced, loudly loving his own voice. This elite is above your pay grade. Just stand back and watch the professionals work. Then, without another glance, he started barking out orders like a seasoned military commander. Zhang Lilei, pull the aggro. Liang, damage. Wang Lilei, crowd control. Zhao Jing, keep Zhang standing. I'm main damage. His team snapped right into formation. Textbook positioning. All rocking matching C-rank spirit gear worth millions of credits. Coordinated, disciplined, and dripping with money. I lowered my weapon and leaned back. Fine, go ahead, rich boy. Show me what daddy's millions can actually do. I was genuinely curious here. I had been soloing everything recently. I actually had no clue how teams fought elite monsters. A free educational seminar, except instead of popcorn, I had infinite ammunition and a passive that literally ends anyone in just 3 shots. But hey, no rush. Let the F-rank golden boy have his shining moment. This should be entertaining. The spider general charged instantly. No warm-ups, just pure combat mode. Now watch this closely. The tank planted himself in front with his fancy silver shield. Wham! The massive impact shook the entire cave. Zhang Lilei skidded backwards several meters, carving deep trenches into the stone floor with his heavy boots. His shield arm shook like a leaf in a hurricane, but he barely held on. That beast hits like a massive truck, he yelled, shaking his numb arm. But I can take it, keep going. Mang Tao just grinned. Daddy's money at work, baby. That C-rank shield could practically tank a missile strike. The mage immediately started launching fireballs. Each one exploded against the spider general's thick armor, leaving just a tiny scorch mark. That is it. A smudge, like throwing tiny matches at a refrigerator. The archer rapidly fired spirit energy arrows at the joints. Most just bounced off with sad little tink, tink, tink sounds. A few stuck, dealing just basic paper cut level damage. The healer continuously pumped healing spells into Zhang Lilei, while Ming Tao went absolutely crazy. With his glowing blue sword, hacking at the exact same spot on the spider's leg over and over until a tiny crack finally appeared in the thick armor. I know what you are thinking. I just stood aside, leaning on my weapon, watching this unfold like some wild nature documentary. Honestly, not bad, I thought. Objectively speaking, they were significantly better than Chunha's team. Good coordination, 0 major mistakes. Expensive gear doing expensive gear things, but also painfully slow. I casually checked the spider general's health bar. After several long minutes of 5 people going absolutely crazy, it had only dropped from 100% to about 90. At this rate, 20 to 30 minutes to finish the job. I could easily end it in 3 shots. But sure, take your time, kids. 10 minutes of grinding later, the health bar was at 75%. The mage was sweating. The healer's mana was running dangerously low. Zhang Lilei's shield had more dents than a demolition derby car, but they were still hanging in there. And that is when Mang Tao decided it was time for a victory speech. Mid-battle. Hey, you broke losers watching from the back. He was swinging his sword and trash-talking simultaneously, which takes a truly special kind of multitasking talent. See this? This is real power. Open your eyes and take notes. You bottom feeders could train for a whole lifetime and never reach our level. Chunha's team shuffled uncomfortably. Liam Mo was grinding his teeth so hard I could actually hear it. They desperately wanted to talk back, but honestly, the math was not on their side. Mang Tao's team really was crushing it compared to them. Of course, Mang Tao had absolutely no idea that those broke losers standing behind him included a guy who could one-shot the monster he had been tickling for 10 minutes. But I suppose ignorance really is bliss. The health bar kept dropping. 50, 40, 30%. Almost there. Zhang Lilei was gasping, barely standing. Mang Tao was practically bursting with pure, unadulterated excitement. One last push, boys. Then the spider general shrieked and started growing uncontrollably. Its massive body swelled up a full size larger. Berserk mode activated. Attack power through the absolute roof. Defense drops in exchange. It is going berserk, the healer shrieked. So what? Mang Tao's eyes were blazing wide. Pop your cooldowns. Everything. Even the healer attack. They dumped every skill they had, even the healer's lone attack. Trust me, you will want to see how this plays out. Watch this with me. Swords, fireballs, and arrows are raining down on this giant spider. The health bar plummeted, 50, 40, 30%. He was laughing his absolute head off. Minga threw his head back. This elite squad was already celebrating their incredible, flawless victory. Smiles all around. Victory was guaranteed. 10 minutes of heavy grinding was finally paying off. Here, but I just raised my Storm K2, aimed perfectly, while everyone else was busy congratulating themselves. Boom. One shot. My weakness gaze hit the sweet spot, popping the Spider General's head instantly. Its massive body crashed to the ground, fully eliminated before it even finished falling. Level 6 Elite Spider finished. The entire cave went completely silent. Absolutely, totally, pin drop silent. Mangtao and his squad froze. Literally frozen mid-pose. Swords raised, staffs out, bows drawn tight. 5 absolute statues wrapped in expensive armor. Mangta's huge victory laugh was stuck on his face, jaw wide open, brain loading at 0%. They fought this monster for 10 long minutes. 5 people, millions in gear, every single skill. Got it down to 30%. Then one gunshot from the sidelines ended it all. Mangta's eyes slowly, ironically turned toward his teammates. They all looked totally stunned. Nobody there had that power. The mage lacked that firepower. The archer definitely didn't either. His gaze drifted past his elite squad, past Chinhao's shocked group, who already knew my skills, and finally landed right on me. Just standing there calmly, lowering my plain-looking shotgun, a tiny wisp of smoke curling upwards. Watch closely. You and I can see his brain finally making the connection. It was like watching a 1995 computer load a web page. Slow, painful, and when it finally figured it out, his face completely short-circuited. 10 minutes of their absolute best work. One pull of my trigger, same result. I stayed totally silent. I could practically see the gears grinding. A gunshot from an F-rank? One-shotting an elite. His premium squad tickled for 10 minutes? His brain rejected it like a bad transplant. Impossible. His tank, Zhang Lilei, shouted out loud. He must have used a special item, a high-damage explosive. Mangta grabbed onto that weak excuse like a drowning man holding a pool noodle. Yeah, a one-time use item. That's the only thing that makes any logical sense. But item or not, I completely stole his prize. His 10-minute victory, his big hero moment ruined in front of everybody. And this Ming family heir hates being upstaged. Lin Wei came storming over, blue sword pointed right at my throat, his whole squad behind him. Full intimidation mode from the rich kid squad. Jinha's group scrambled backward in pure panic. But even through all their fear, I saw the realization hit them hard. I actually fired that shot. You and I both know the truth. This F-rank just one-tapped what they couldn't even scratch. I totally ignored Mangtao, popping open the Storm K2 chamber, checking rounds casually, like someone browsing their phone while a guy screams at them. This drove him absolutely nuclear. Hey, I am talking to you. Are you deaf? He lunged right at me, sword just an inch from my throat. Apologize. Hand over all the loot from this takedown, or nobody leaves this dungeon in one piece. I just looked past his shoulder at the Spider General's fallen body. Something was glowing. Loot drop. Nice. You guys took forever, so I helped speed things up. No need to thank me for the help. His healer suddenly grabbed Mangta's arm before he could finish threatening me. Wait. She hissed nervously. I used inspect on him. He is level 6. Mangta's sword arm froze midair. Level 6. His elite squad with millions in gear had barely ground to level 4. I hit 6 in the same dungeon, totally solo and way faster. His teammates? Mangtao asked through clenched teeth. Highest is level 2. So Chunha's squad wasn't carrying me, I was dragging them. Or more accurately, they just stood nearby while I did everything. Wait. Jean Lilei's face paled. The experience points from finishing the Spider General. Did we get any? Mangta's stomach dropped instantly. 0. 0 experience gained. Nothing. Not a single point. Here's how dungeon rules actually work. If you are in range during a group takedown, everyone gets a share. But if one single attack exceeds 30% of total health, it counts as a solo clear. That player gets absolutely everything. Everyone else gets nothing. Except they didn't even get scraps. The Spider General had 8,000 HP. 30% is 2,400. My shot dealt way over that. And that completely ignores the 120 defense my spirit penetration casually bypassed. So what do you and I make of this? 2,400 damage from an F rank. Meanwhile, this a rank berserker peaks at 80 per swing. Wild, right? Stick with me here. I just dealt 30 times his damage in a single shot, standing completely still without any items. If an item got the win, the system would have shared the credit. Instead, they walked away with absolutely zero reward. The system gave Linu 100% credit. U5 were scenery. Minga's sword hand started trembling. Cold sweat slipped through his grip. The blade aimed at my throat wobbled like a compass, having a total identity crisis. All anger vanished completely from his face. The arrogance too, replaced by a feeling he probably never experienced in his spoiled, privileged life. Pure, bone-deep fear toward someone he thought was totally beneath him. So, can you even move? I casually flicked his sword aside with one finger, just nudged it away like an annoying tree branch in my path. He didn't resist. He didn't even flinch, just stood completely frozen, watching me walk right past him toward the spider general. Behind him, his teammates were having a silent panic. To fight or not? They had better gear and higher levels. 5 versus 1 on paper, they should easily win. But nobody wanted to test what happens when that massive shotgun points at them instead. That 2400 damage shotgun, the weapon that turned an elite monster into abstract art from 50 meters away. Watch closely. Would you volunteer to test that? Me neither. Mangta looked like he was chewing a whole wasp. Every single emotion battling for control: rage, deep humiliation, sheer panic, and none were winning. I crouched down beside the wrecked spider and dug through the messy remains. My hands grabbed something totally solid, pulling it free. A fist-sized heart, still beat and glowing bright green, covered in slime, pulsing with warm energy. I blew the gunk off, held it up to the dim light, and just watched it glow. Still super warm. Top quality. Time to check my prize. The system helpfully pulled up the amazing stats. Mutant Spider General's Toxic Heart. Ultra rare consumable. Can be absorbed to potentially trigger a massive mutation in your abilities. Warning: 99% failure rate. Failure brings permanent stat loss or instant elimination. Estimated value: 100,000 credits. Basically, I held a lottery ticket where winning gave massive power, and losing meant instant game over. So fun. The smart move was totally obvious. Sell it. Pocket 100 grand. Buy better gear. Live comfortably. Easy decision. Then the system chimed in. Item showed extremely high compatibility with my class. Failure dropped to 70%. Absorption method: direct consumption. Eat it. Warning: failure still causes permanent stat loss or total elimination. Huge 70% fail rate. Better than 99, sure, but it is basically Russian roulette with 5 bullets inside. A 7-chamber revolver. And the method? Eating a still beating spider heart. Absolutely delicious. Any sane, rational person would sell this crazy thing immediately. You see it pulsing too, right? Warm, brightly glowing, and just absolutely packed with crazy potential. 100,000 credits could buy nice, temporary things, but nothing that would fundamentally change who I was. An F-rank gunslinger with cheap passives and a base class the whole world called garbage. This heart could change everything. A genuine once-in-a-lifetime class mutation opportunity, handed over by a system that already gifted me 4 crazy mythical abilities in just 12 hours. This definitely wasn't random. The universe was leaving huge breadcrumbs. Fortune favors the bold, and playing safe never got me far. Decision officially made. I'm eating this gross spider heart, but not right here. I glanced at Mangta's crew standing 20 meters away, radiating pure hostility like a broken space heater radiates heat. Eating a mystery organ surrounded by angry rich kids who wanted me eliminated? That isn't bold. That's just completely stupid. I carefully pocketed the heart and looked right back at Mangta. The guy was having a very visible internal meltdown. His knuckles were totally white, gripping his sword. His face cycled through rage, humiliation, and deep terror like a broken traffic light. Fight me and risk a huge 2400 damage blast, or just walk away totally embarrassed by the school. Loser. His teammates were already leaning toward the exit. Nobody wanted this. Smoke. Their healer was practically tugging his sleeve. Their tank looked ready to quit adventuring completely. Let's go. Minga finally spat out. He turned to leave. I waited for about 3 steps. Wait. He spun around fast, like I drew a weapon, which honestly, was a totally reasonable concern. I casually picked up the 2 remaining loot drops. A D-rank armor piece and a shiny D-rank skill book. Not super useful, but decent money. I dropped them right into my bag. Then I pointed right at the spider general's massive corpse on the ground. You guys don't want the body? I hear these parts sell for huge money at the association. So what do you and I take from this? You guys worked hard for 10 whole minutes. 0 results. But hey, you tried. Consider this giant corpse your participation trophy. Mangta's face literally turned the color of a tomato that was also somehow purple. The veins on his neck were doing things veins absolutely shouldn't do. Stick with me here. I just offered him scraps from his stolen hunt. Basically tossing pennies to a street bum. Except this bum wore millions of credits in epic gear and rocked in a minus-rank profession. You, Tao, let it go. His healer suddenly grabbed his arm. He stared at me for an eternity. Pure, distilled fury. The kind that gets you put on epic bounty lists. And then he smiled. The absolute worst. Smile. I will remember this, Lu. We shall see. He walked away. His crew totally followed, constantly glancing back like I might blast them from behind, which honestly felt incredibly flattering. I did not know it just yet, but roughly 2 minutes later, deep inside a nearby tunnel, Minga punched a wall hard enough to shatter it. He screamed my name, echoing across half the dungeon. Then he whipped out a dark communicator device. Target locked. Lu, a level 6 gunslinger. Track him down. Wait until he gets distracted. Eliminate him. Make it look like wild monsters attacked. On the line, twin B-rank shadow assassins. Elite professional hunters raised by the Mang family since childhood. A level 6 gunslinger. You absolutely need both of us. Do not underestimate him. His damage output is insane. He can one-shot. Make it clean. So now, I had stealthy assassins coming for me on top of literally everything else. Now watch closely. Good thing I had a pulsing monster heart to munch, climbing stats, and a shotgun, deleting absolutely anything within 150 meters. But first, I desperately needed a quiet spot for lunch. And by lunch, I truly mean the most absolutely disgusting meal of my entire life. I checked out the Spider General's massive frame. Tons of super valuable parts in there, easily enough to sell for serious cash. But time kept ticking. The ultimate prize waited deeper inside the dungeon. The Grand Spider Queen. The final boss. The experience point motherlode. Money or pure power. Easiest decision of my life. I walked deeper. Behind me, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. 4 tiny sets of footsteps, trying desperately to sound casual. Shinha's crew followed like little ducks, staying 15 meters back, close enough to feel safe, yet far enough away to not annoy me, or so they honestly thought. I never looked back, but my mind was already spinning. Minga was a problem. Rich kids with wounded egos never just walk away. They call daddy, pull strings, and send goons to handle the mess. Right now, that spoiled brat was absolutely 100% plotting my downfall. In a dungeon where players vanish constantly, making someone disappear completely was as easy as blaming it on wild monsters. And these 4 trailing tagalongs, if Minga chased me, they would instantly become collateral damage. Easy targets, weaknesses, complete useless baggage in every sense. I needed them gone for their own safety. What I definitely did not know yet was that 2 shadows were already hunting my trail. In a side tunnel, barely behind, 2 figures moved exactly like ghosts along the rocky cave walls. Silent and professional. Not a single footstep, absolutely not a sound. One of them crouched down, touched the mud, and rubbed my fresh footprints between his fingers. 5 sets of tracks. That is our guy. Yuan 3, B-rank shadow assassin. Professional hunter since childhood. His twin brother. I know what you are thinking. Yuan 4 stretched wildly, cracking every joint like doing morning yoga, not prepping for battle. The boss is being completely paranoid over a level 6 gunslinger and for civilians. He actually needs both of us for this? Yuan 3 picked up one of my spent shell casings and sniffed it. Cheap gunpowder, nothing special. But the spider shell scattered around the tunnel told a very different story, and his eyebrow twitched. Do not get cocky. The boss says he can one-shot opponents. So Yuan 4 licked his chapped lips. Gunslingers are totally made of paper. Get within 3 meters, and I will rip his helmet off like a football. Let us hurry up. The big money is the final boss, and I really want in on that epic action. They melted right into the darkness, getting closer. Meanwhile, I stopped at a tunnel fork and turned around. 4 fully terrified faces stared right back at me. This is where you stop following me. Chun Hao shuffled forward, nervously wringing his hands, forcing the most pathetic smile I had ever seen. Lu, no, big bro, thank you for saving us back there. We would literally be crunchy spider snacks without you. Please, can we just keep following you? We absolutely will not cause any trouble. We will not slow you down. Just let us stay safe. All four of them were nodding so intensely, their heads might have just popped off. I looked at each desperate face, then shook my head. Follow me, and you will perish. Way faster. I pointed at the dark left tunnel. A wave of freezing, foul air drifted out, like the cave was actually breathing. Down there is level 7 to 9 territory. Fierce mutant frenzy spiders. They hunt in packs. They hear your racing heartbeat and smell absolute fear. If one tags you, you are totally finished. Zero escape. No second chances. I let that terrifying reality sink in. You have already survived long enough to pass. Just find a closed-off tunnel. Firmly block the entrance with rocks. Sit completely tight for 4 hours, and the dungeon simply ejects you when time finishes. Do not seek an exit. So what do we take from this? They stared like I suggested a sunny vacation. Just hide away inside a dark cave hole. For 4 solid hours, Liamo looked physically ill. What if something finds us? The archer squeaked. My patience finally ran out. Stick with me here. This is where things get wild. I took the left tunnel. Pitch. Blackness swallowed me instantly. Right on schedule. Hiding completely in the shadows, Yuan for watched me leave the group, grinning from ear to ear. Absolutely perfect. The target was isolated, marching straight into elite monster territory. Too ridiculously easy. Just wait until I faced something nasty, then quietly sneak a blade into my back from behind. By the time they found my defeated form, it would just look like another foolish rookie making a huge mistake. Clean, simple, and totally untraceable. At least, that was their grand plan. They totally forgot they were hunting someone way beyond a level 6 gunslinger. They were hunting a level 6 gunslinger packing strictly infinite ammo, 200% bonus range, 188% bonus damage, armor-piercing rounds, an auto-execute passive, and health surging after every victory. But hey, they would figure that out soon enough. The entire tunnel smelled incredibly foul, like absolute rotting garbage stacked on pure decay. Rust, rot, wet rock, and a vibe screaming danger. Broken equipment and chewed bones covered the ground. Some poor adventurers wandered in earlier, learning the incredibly hard way that level 7 territory totally ignores your feelings. One fallen player was fresh, a young healer in blue robes, chest completely punched full of massive holes, eyes frozen wide open in pure shock. I sighed. The examiner literally said, "Do not come here unless you are ready. Watch closely now." People never listen. Then, a wet clicking sound echoed from above. I looked up. A giant spider the exact size of a car hung upside down, casually munching on a poor player like a tasty sandwich. Pitch black body, bright red markings, and terrifying razor hook legs. 2 massive eyes locked right onto me with pure excitement. A level 7 mutant savage spider. Health, 7, 20. Defense, 50. Plus skills that pierce you like a kebab and wrap you up. It completely skipped introductions, whipping its massive backend around to blast nasty web slime right at my face. I barely dodged. The gross goop snagged my jacket's edge, tugging hard. The monster shrieked loudly, acting like a literal dinner bell. 6 more level 7s poured from the darkness like a nightmare factory. 7 giant killer spiders. Most players would freeze and panic. I just raised my Storm K2. Boom. First target down. Headshot. Weakness gaze hit the sweet spot. Its skull popped like a grape, and the massive form dropped exactly like wet laundry. The other 6 were 10 meters away, closing fast. Boom. Boom. 2 shots. Spirit energy penetration turned the pellets into a horizontal blender. Weakness gaze activated. Every third shot, execute, kicked in. All 6 targets were completely inside the blast zone when every mythical passive fired off. Simultaneously, the result felt less like actual combat and way more like an exploding paint factory. 6 massive spiders completely detonated into a shower of limbs and green slime, instantly redecorating every surface within 20 meters. 10 seconds, 7 defeated. New personal record for this size. 420 exp, range 231%. Damage 195%. Constitution 7, I'll hit 7. God tier passive draw available. Draw. Mythical passive. Transcendent perception instantly doubles all sensory abilities. Every takedown permanently adds 1 perception. No limit. Infinite stacking. The effect was seriously instant. I know what you're thinking. This sounds insane. Suddenly, an invisible blindfold ripped completely off. I could literally hear everything. Water was dripping 3 tunnels away. I heard the exact heartbeat of a spider hiding 40 meters away. Air currents shifted whenever anything moved in the darkness. My own skin literally felt temperature changes from monsters breathing nearby. The smell upgrade was way less pleasant. I could now identify 17 distinct flavors of awful decay in the air. Thanks, enhanced nose. Didn't need that, but for combat? This was a huge game changer. Every spider here was lit up in my senses, exactly like a glowing Christmas tree. They could hide behind rocks, cling to ceilings, or burrow into cracks. Didn't matter. I felt them all. The hunter spiders just became the hunted. I pushed deeper, shotgun aimed high, grinning exactly like a kid in an arcade. Spider hiding behind that stalactite. Boom. Wrecked before it even launched. 3 more crouched in a side pocket. Boom. Boom. Confetti. 5 targets. Right around the next corner. Shot through the wall. 2. 10 exp. 400 exp. 280 exp. Range, damage, constitution, perception. All climbing with every takedown. My sensory radius kept expanding in real time. 20 meters became 30, 30 became 40. Every wrecked spider made the very next one easier to find. I was a walking radar tower with the gun hitting exactly like a missile launcher. Ambush tactics absolutely fail when your target can easily sense your heartbeat from 50 meters away. Then, mid-sweep, my newly enhanced senses picked up something strange. Not spiders, actual people. Trust me, watch this. 2 stalkers 40 to 50 meters behind me, breathing completely silently. Stick with me here. Footsteps so incredibly quiet, they would make cats jealous. Total pro stalkers. Mangta's cleanup crew finally arrived. Super interesting. I just kept walking, totally ignoring their hidden presence. Exact same pace. Casual as a Sunday stroll. But inside my head, gears were absolutely spinning. They actually thought they were hunting me. Creeping up, waiting to strike. While I was busy handling those spiders. The most classic backstab setup ever. Blame it on the monsters, right? Cute plan. Except I literally felt them breathing from 50 meters away. I knew their exact spots, their movement speed, even how they shifted weight between their steps. Finding a wide open tunnel, I stopped, leaned against the wall, making a huge show of checking my ammo, and stretching out like I was totally exhausted. Oh, wow. Look at me, completely vulnerable and distracted. What a perfect little target I am. Just standing here with my guard completely dropped. The trap was fully set. Come on in, the water is fine. 40 meters back. 2 pro assassins were whispering together like some epic heist movie. He stopped moving. He is resting now. Our big chance. Wait, watch him first. He defeated those spiders completely alone. He is no joke. A level 6 gunslinger, bro. Total paper body. I could sneeze and finish him. One single knife strike is all I need. I heard every single word, every breath, every tiny shift on the stone. Transcendent perception is absolutely a beautiful thing. Now watch this closely. They started creeping up, hugging walls to dodge my sight. Very professional, so unbelievably quiet. They would fool absolutely anyone without mythical grade senses. But then Yuan 4 brushed against something super thin. I felt him completely freeze up. His brother grabbed his shoulder, shoving them both flat on the ground. A second later, Yuan 3 slowly pulled a hidden tripwire away from his brother's foot. That crazy guy actually planted traps. Remember those 2 signal tracking traps from the weapon shop? I totally knew they would eventually come in handy. I planted them right along the best approach paths while resting. Simply because I am thoughtful like that. Yuan 3 went full bomb squad mode, carefully checking the ground ahead. Found the second trap. Disarmed that one too. The very second he did, click. A faint sound only I could hear. The signal trigger released, telling me exactly 2 important things. Their exact spot, and they were inside my perception radius. Both traps fully disarmed. Both targets located, totally clueless that their sneaky approach was basically a live GPS, broadcast to my enhanced senses this entire time. Welcome to the party, guys. Shifting my shotgun left, I casually rested my right hand on the Nova P1 at my thigh. Pistol time. This called for absolute precision. Yuan 3 straightened up after disabling the second trap. He nodded to his brother. Path clear. Yuan 4 practically vibrated with excitement. You and I know what happens next. His body blurred, dissolving into a stretched shadow, racing forward. B-rank shadow talent. Stealth rush. Invisible movement at crazy speeds. Their signature move. The very thing that made them so dangerous. Even level 10 fighters miss this. 40 meters. 30. 20. He grinned widely. I literally sensed the muscles moving in his face. A gunslinger cannot detect an invisible rogue at this range. Totally impossible. Everyone knows that rule. At 19 meters, the fake sleeping ended. My right hand snapped up, holding the Nova P1's black barrel, and my eyes locked onto his exact spot, like twin laser sights. What? He can see me. Yuan 4's invisible confidence shattered in real time. But hey, commitment is commitment. He dropped stealth, activated ghost step for max speed, and lunged like a screaming blur. Take this. That is your stealth technique? I saw you coming a mile ago. Bang! One pistol round straight through the center of his forehead. His forward momentum and the bullet collided, making his body do this weird mid-air hiccup before slamming into the ground and sliding to a total stop. Finished. Instantly. Lights out. Target defeated. Range 1%. Damage 1%. Constitution 1. Perception 1. Hello. Defeating awakened targets stacks my passives too. Good to know. Every single type of enemy counts. Very good to know. From somewhere deep in the shadows, I heard a strangled sound. Half scream, half sob. 4. Yuan 3. Watching his twin brother get blasted from the cheap seats. His pride, his lifelong companion, completely taken down by a single bullet from this paper body gunslinger. They were just laughing 5 minutes ago. I could literally feel his heartbeat spiking through the walls. Total fear and fury wrestling for control. Their legendary stealth technique. The very skill that fools opponents 5 levels above them. I saw through it like a clear window. He started backing away slowly, just testing whether retreat was even possible. I let him take about 3 steps before casually swinging my pistol right in his direction. Trust me, we know. Moved left. Barrel followed. Right. Barrel followed. Checkmate. You and I are jumping right in. No matter how silent or careful he was, my blaster tracked him like he wore a bright neon sign. I felt his nervous energy. I heard the exact rhythm of his absolute panic. His heart hammered against his ribs so loud, it was basically tapping Morse code for total defeat. He was an elite B-rank operative, trained since childhood, dozens of epic takedowns under his belt. And right now, for the first time in his entire career, he finally understood how the hunted feels. I grinned brightly in the shadows. You think you can still escape? Yuan 3 trembled so wildly I literally felt the vibrations through the floorboards. His heart thumped like a wild drum solo at a rock concert. This is impossible. He is F-rank. He cannot see through enhanced stealth. Oh, buddy, if only you knew. My perception stat had magically hit 58 for a level 7. That is absolutely absurd. The kind of crazy number that breaks rules of what is possible. My sensory range covered nearly 100 meters everywhere. I could feel the air shifting when a tiny spider twitched 2 whole tunnels away. I could hear the exact difference between someone breathing through their nose or mouth from 50 meters away. Yuan 3's heartbeat was basically screaming his exact location to me in surround sound. He totally panicked, could not run, could not hide. Brother, defeated on the ground, pure rage won out. Lu, I will totally crush you. He broke stealth, both daggers drawn, and charged. Now watch this part closely. He played his ultimate shadow clone technique. His body flickered, and suddenly 3 of him attacked from different angles simultaneously. The signature B-rank operative move makes perfect visual copies to confuse the target, while the real one goes for the big epic takedown. Apparently, it tricks even a rank fighters easily. I raised an eyebrow, genuinely impressed for half a second. Then I listened. 3 bodies charging me, but only one possessed a real heartbeat. The left one. Clones are just trick images. Light and shadow. No organs, no pulse, no thump. Thump of a terrified heart hammering at 200 beats per minute. Transcendent perception ignores your fancy magical illusions. It cares about biology. Biology never lies. I swung the Nova P1 to the left and fired. Zap. To his credit, Yuan 3 was good. At the absolute last microsecond, he gracefully twisted his body mid-sprint and dodged the finishing blast. The blast meant for his head caught his shoulder instead. He hit the ground hard. Both clones popped instantly, just like fragile soap bubbles. He lay there clutching his injured shoulder, staring up at me with wide eyes that had completely given up, trying to understand this wild situation. How did you know which one was real? My shadow clone. Fools. Rank fighters. I strolled toward him slowly, blaster still aimed at his head. So simple. You were the only body with a real heartbeat. His face went blank. Then the sheer shock of it all hit him. I could hear heartbeats from across any room. While 3 bodies sprinted at me simultaneously, I easily picked the right one instantly. You saw that coming, right? What are you? None of your business. I stopped right in front of him. Mangta sent you? Yes. He hesitated, eyed my blaster, and quickly nodded. Anyone else? No, just us. I scanned the area with my perception. 0 other human signatures nearby. He was actually telling the truth. Good. You can go join your defeated brother now. Wait. Pure desperation. I can totally work for you. I know all of Mangta's hidden secrets. I can help take him down. Interesting offer. From a professional operative who tried to eliminate me exactly 60 seconds ago, who would absolutely betray me the exact moment it was convenient, who belonged to the sneaky family that sent him here. No thanks. Zap. Clean. Knocked out cold in a flash. Done. Takedown confirmed. Range 1%. Damage 1%. Constitution 1. Perception 1. 2 operatives. 2 blasts. 2 epic additions to my ever-growing stat collection. I searched their pockets. Nothing special. Basic operative gear and consumables. But on Yuan 3, I actually found a sleek black communicator. Oh, this was going to be so much fun. I pressed the call button. Mangta answered instantly. Yuan 3, is it totally handled? I cleared my throat, dropping my voice into the absolute best Yuan 3 impression I could possibly manage. Handled. Excellent. Clean job. Spotless. Haha. Beautiful work. I will give you both a fat bonus after the exam. I practically heard him rubbing his hands together like a total cartoon villain. Regroup with us right now. I'm sending coordinates. We are almost at the Spider Queen's nest. The communicator pinged with his exact location. I looked at it and smiled. He was deep in the dungeon, very close to the final boss. Probably feeling incredibly proud of himself right now. Super confident that the annoying F-rank problem was quietly handled. Totally ready to claim all the glory and first place without any messy loose ends. He had 0 idea his 2 hired thugs were currently becoming spider snacks in a side tunnel. I casually tossed the communicator onto the ground and listened to the left passage. Scratching sounds, hungry sounds. A few sneaky spiders, drawn by the scent of dropped loot, came scurrying out and descended on the 2 defeated operatives with sheer enthusiasm. Nature's own cleanup crew. How convenient. I turned right and headed deeper. Mangta thought he won, thought I was finished, thought he could waltz up, defeat the Spider Queen, and go home a hero. But you and I know better. Stick with me here, this spoiled kid is in for a rude awakening. Behind me, the sound of professional hitmen turning into spider snacks. The circle of life is truly beautiful. MTA is up next. Sending hitmen after me inside an exam dungeon? That completely crosses every single line in this entire world. Showing enemies mercy is just delayed self-destruction. Conveniently, when people vanish in exam dungeons, absolutely no one ever investigates. It gets written off as dungeon hazards. Perfectly tidy. But first, there was tons of experience walking around this cave on 8 legs, and I intended to collect every last point. My transcendent perception had turned me into a human sonar system. Everything within 100 meters mapped directly into my brain, just like a virtual model. Spiders hiding behind walls, spiders clinging to ceilings, and unhatched eggs with babies actively squirming inside. I could even feel air pressure shifts when things moved 3 tunnels away. Entering the level 9 zone, the air grew incredibly thick. The crimson scent grew intensely heavy. This is where overconfident teams fell. Left side, 30 meters. Targets hiding behind the solid rock wall. I did not even look, just angled the Storm K2 and fired through the wall. Boom. Spirit penetration ignores rocks completely. 4 level 9 vicious spiders turned to paste behind solid stone. They never even saw it coming. They saw absolutely nothing coming. 360 experience. Range for percent. Damage for percent. Constitution 4. Perception 4. kept walking, did not slow down. 5 on the ceiling, boom, spider rain, webs, monster parts, and slime dropped from above like the absolutely worst weather forecast in history. This was not combat anymore. This was extermination. I was literally a walking fumigation service. Watch closely now. Monsters that terrified entire 5-person squads vanished before even showing up. They would sense a human nearby, get excited for dinner, and then completely shatter from a gunshot, ripping through the very wall they were trying to hide behind. Ambush predators getting ambushed. It is absolute peak irony. Elimination after elimination. My stats skyrocketed. 450, 540, 540, 1170. Then a golden glow. Level 8. New passive draw. Mythical tier. Kinetic barrier. Every single takedown stores 1 layer of protective shield. Each layer completely blocks 1 hit. No limit on stacks. Auto activates when under attack. A personal force field, growing every time I defeat something. In a dungeon packed with targets. Let me do quick math here. I had defeated hundreds of monsters tonight. If I had this passive from the very start, I would have hundreds of shields stacked up, each absorbing a full hit. I would be wrapped in more layers of protection than bubble wrap at a moving company. But it starts at 0. Now, time to start stacking. I spotted 2 targets sneaking through a side passage. Sensed them instantly. Boom. Both eliminated. Kinetic barrier. 2 layers. Then I did something absolutely insane. Deliberately, 3rd monster lunged at me from the dark. Razor legs aimed at my chest, dripping with poison that could melt steel. I stood completely still. Its claw hit me, then a ripple. A faint shimmer appeared and vanished. The attack simply bounced off like hitting an invisible wall. 0 damage. Not even a single scratch. Kinetic barrier consumed. 1 layer remaining. The monster froze in absolute confusion. Stabbed a human. The human refused to fall. I know what you were thinking here. It was payback time. I gave it the absolute most terrifying look it had ever seen. Boom. Spider paste. Works perfectly. Infinite ammo, infinite range, infinite scaling, armor penetration, instant elimination mechanics, full heal on takedowns, permanent health growth, superhuman senses, and a regenerating damage shield. If this were a video game, the developers would have patched me out 3 whole updates ago. For the next 30 minutes, the level 9 zone became my personal farming ground. Nothing survived. Nothing could possibly survive. My perception net caught everything. My damage completely deleted everything. My shield smoothly absorbed a rare lucky hit. My health restored itself constantly. Level 9, 55,000. New passive draw. Mythical tier. Ballistic warp. Your bullets can perform 1 short-range spatial teleport based on mental commands. It completely ignores physical barriers. Higher perception equals more precise control. I read that 3 whole times. My bullets can teleport with just a thought. Hide around a corner, and the bullet literally jumps through space to hit targets I cannot even see. In a straight line. Hide behind a wall. Bullet warps past it. Duck behind cover. Bullet instantly appears right on the other side. My perception stat, currently astronomical, determines exactly how accurately I can steer them. So, let me get this totally straight. I can now sense enemies through walls from 100 meters away, shooting bullets that freely teleport around obstacles to reach them. There is no such thing as cover anymore. There is 0 hiding. There is no safe distance. If I know exactly where you are, and I always do, a teleporting shot is coming. Through the wall, around the corner, past the ceiling, does not matter. Trust me, you and I are watching the world's most unfair human. Only level 9, and I had to test this immediately. Stick with me here, because you and I are about to witness the impossible. 50 meters out, a level 9 spider barely peeked from behind a huge rock. The giant rock blocked everything. I pulled out my Nova P1 without aiming. I just pointed randomly, focused my mind completely on the monster's hidden weak spot, and pulled the trigger. Bam! The bullet left the barrel and vanished. Just completely disappeared from reality. Then, behind the solid rock, the spider's shell shattered. A hole appeared in its armor from absolutely nowhere. Its eyes still held that confused wait. What? Look as its heavy body tumbled off the high ledge and crashed down. The bullet had literally teleported through empty space around a solid stone pillar, hitting the exact spot I wanted. Taking cover is no longer a concept that saves my enemies. Walls, rocks, pillars, bunkers, all completely meaningless. If I sense you, you're already finished. My bullet will find you by tearing straight through the very fabric of space itself. I took a deep, fully satisfied breath, flashing the cheerful smile of a guy who just completely shattered the laws of physics. From this day forward, absolutely nothing in the world can hide from me. Meanwhile, inside a totally different tunnel, Mangta's crew was having a disastrous day. Heal him quickly, he is fading. Just two fierce level 9 shadow spiders had his elite squad on the edge of total collapse. His expensive armor was cracked like a fragile eggshell. The shoulder plate ripped completely off. Scratches everywhere. The healer was empty. Voice totally cracking. I am empty. Useless. All of you. Mangta screamed, dodging a leg. Those potions cost 50,000. Drink them now. His poor team wanted to quit. This was his fault. He chose the riskiest path, trying to speedrun this dungeon, burning through everyone's hard-earned supplies. Now watch closely. These guys were getting wrecked by spiders I could beat in one single shot. Then, Absolute Salvation confidently walked right in. Lumanu, wearing a white dress, without a single speck of dirt, looking like she arrived from a fancy tea party instead of combat. She casually flicked a sharp ice crystal at one spider, freezing it totally solid, giving the team a breather. Her squad was perfectly intact. Compared to Mangta's walking disaster squad, they looked like elegant runway models. Mangta saw his ultimate dream girl, and his brain immediately flipped from survival mode to full peacock mode. Just seconds ago, he was raging, but now, he was puffing his chest out, trying to look incredibly heroic. Everyone hold the line, he roared loudly, launching himself at the spider in the most reckless charge ever described. Simply because Manu was watching, his teammates nearly had a collective meltdown. This foolish guy was going to get them all crushed just to impress a girl. Potions wasted. Each potion worth tens of thousands of credits, tossed away like cheap water. His team cried. They really wanted to scream loudly and just go home. But the Ming family wealth was their strict leash. The two spiders finally fell. Everyone collapsed, but breathing heavily. Mangta snuck away, quietly trying his communicator. You on 3? You on 4? Report now. Static. Cold. Empty. Static. His confident smile melted like sweet ice cream in July. No answer. Professional trackers who never, ever missed a single check-in were completely silent. A chill hit him. Could they possibly have failed against an F-rank student? No, impossible. They were B-rank elites with enhanced stealth. I know what you are thinking. Against a rookie? It was an easy job, but the static kept hissing, almost mocking his epic failure. Before the panic could fully set in, sweet, familiar perfume reached him. Manu had gracefully glided over, standing super close, looking at him with gorgeous eyes. Just the right amount of deep concern mixed with comforting warmth. Mangta, you seem troubled today. Everything okay? Fine. Just a minor thing. Haha. She just smiled. That totally devastating, heart-melting smile. Then she stepped even closer, close enough to smell her sweet hair. First place in this exam is incredibly important to me, she murmured. I need the queen's first takedown. Mangta forgot how oxygen worked. She gently reached out one delicate finger and traced a scratch on his armor. Slowly, deliberately. If you help me secure that takedown, her voice dropped to a whisper. I would not mind being your cute girlfriend. Absolute fireworks exploded inside his head. Girlfriend. Lumanu, the S-rank goddess and #1 beauty, said yes. Every rational thought. The missing agents, the looming danger ahead, the F-rank kid who might still be around, all evaporated like morning dew in summer. For you, I would brave 1,000 storms. He literally screamed this. Then he activated a wild ultimate ability, glowing like a giant human flashlight, and charged blindly down the tunnel toward the spiders, dragging his crying, totally exhausted, teammates right behind him. His poor squad was sobbing internally. More potions burned away, more health lost, money wasted. So what do you and I learn here? Never let a pretty smile completely hijack your brain. And behind everyone, watching Mangta's screaming, lovesick rampage fade down the dark tunnel, Manu's sweet smile instantly shifted into something totally cold and sharp. She had him exactly where she wanted him. A loyal attack dog giving everything for a totally fake reward. A reward she never planned to give. Honestly, that girl terrified him way more than any monster here, and she had no clue he survived. Stick with me here, you and I are about to enter pure nightmare territory. Massive as football fields, ceilings vanishing into absolute darkness. Huge stalactites hung there, wrapped in pulsing egg sacs the size of actual refrigerators. Every single surface was covered in webbing so incredibly thick you could bounce. Right in the center, resting on a web as massive as a city block, sat the terrifying Spider Queen. She was huge, like a heavy truck. A purple and black armored shell, completely covered in glowing runes. Sporting 8 steel-like lances, hundreds of burning crimson eyes on her head locked onto him the exact second he walked inside. Spider Queen Proteus, C-rank Lord, level 10. Health, 100%. Her defense and skills? Entirely question marks. The system could not even scan her properly because she was a whole rank higher. A C-rank Lord hiding inside a D-rank dungeon. Those exam designers absolutely were not playing around here. She screamed not just noise, but a literal sonic weapon. The shockwave physically shattered overhead rocks. Rubble crashed down as every single egg sac burst open all at once. Thousands of tiny monsters poured out, forming a terrifying black tidal wave rushing straight at him. Super dramatic, incredibly cinematic. Now watch closely, here is where it gets crazy. He did not take a single step, just stood there, raising his Nova P1, aiming right at the queen, 100 meters away. Transcendent perception and weakness gaze activated together. The giant queen became semi-transparent in his vision. He could see everything: muscles, bones, glowing energy vessels, and energy flowing through her like a magical X-ray. Right there, buried deep where her thorax met the abdomen, hidden completely behind impenetrable layers of heavy armor. A single, brightly pulsing, magical glowing orb. Her magical energy core, the true source of her power and her absolute ultimate weak point, completely buried. Good thing his bullets totally ignore armor. Now, shot number 1. Bang! The bullet vanished from the barrel, teleporting directly inside the queen's body. Bypassing her thick armor and muscles, it appeared right above a tiny energy node near the core, then detonated. The beast violently lurched, screaming in pure confusion. Her outer shell remained completely flawless. 0 cracks, 0 marks. But deep inside, something just struck a critical spot that absolutely nothing should ever reach. She wildly thrashed around, desperately scanning the room, totally unable to locate her hidden attacker. Sorry lady, the threat is already inside. Shot number 2. Bang! The exact same trick. The round warped into the damaged zone from before, striking the unstable node perfectly in the center. Her internal power system instantly went completely haywire. Wild energy began ricocheting inside her like a broken pinball machine. She completely froze up, every single leg locked tight, her body shaking as the chain reaction built. Now, shot 3. Weakness. Gaze guaranteed criticals, all passive stacked on this bullet. Penetration damage at 238%. Instant elimination trigger. Ballistic warp. Bang! The bullet perfectly materialized right inside her magical core. The giant queen went totally rigid. Everything fell silent. Then, a bright light sparked inside. Tiny at first, then growing blindingly bright. Just like a star forming inside her. Boom! No fiery explosion, just a seriously deep, heavy sound. You felt that too, right? This giant mountain of pure fury and teeth simply fell apart. Her massive body completely dissolved from the inside out, collapsing into glowing golden particles, drifting like tiny fireflies. 3 shots, 1 pistol from the doorway, 0 steps taken. The C-rank Lord Spider Queen Proteus was defeated. 10,000 experience gain. New passive draw available. That massive, terrifying baby spider tidal wave instantly lost all its momentum. Without their queen, they just popped, bursting into light like tiny soap bubbles. Where the massive boss vanished, glowing drops covered the floor. Not trash, but top-tier gear, including a rare spatial storage bracelet. High-rank quality, easily worth 400,000 credits. A wearable pocket dimension for your gear. He slid it onto his wrist, waved his hand, and smoothly vacuumed up every single piece of loot off the floor. Suddenly, he heard loud footsteps, lots of them approaching fast. Manu, we are almost there. I'm getting you that first major victory. Mangta screamed, running on absolute pure simp energy. Meanwhile, our guy casually stood in the completely empty boss room, hands resting at his sides, facing the main entrance, simply waiting. 2 complete squads burst inside. Mangta's battered crew alongside Manu's completely flawless team. 10 people total, fully armed to the teeth, incredibly hyped, ready for the ultimate boss fight. So what do we learn here? Trust me, expect the unexpected. They found an empty cave, 0 monsters, and just our hero, slowly turning to face them. Alright, you and I are going to love this. Mangta's victory smile completely crumbled, and Manu's perfectly maintained composure finally cracked. Those beautiful, manipulative eyes went genuinely wide. Absolute silence from 10 whole people. 0 brain cells working right now. Mangta's face flashed through so many wild emotions in 1 second. Like a crazy slot machine. Excitement, confusion, complete disbelief, then volcanic rage. How are you even here? Where is the Spider Queen? I stood in the empty room where a C-rank lord used to be. Loot safely pocketed. Not a scratch on me. I didn't answer. Didn't need to. The empty cave said everything. Seriously, how are you here? Mangta's voice cracked so hard it went up 3 octaves. His face literally turned the bright color of an allergic fire truck. Behind him, 10 people stood completely frozen. Both squads were beaten up, potions entirely depleted, armor cracked, looking like they had crawled through a giant blender. They spent hours fighting through level 9 territory, burning through supplies worth more than most houses, losing sweat and dignity at every turn, all for one purpose. The Spider Queen's first clear. Yet, they walked into an empty room. No queen, no spiders, no eggs, no nothing. Just me standing casually in the middle of the most anticlimactic boss arena. Hands in my pockets. Mangta's brain tried to process this crazy scene and immediately crashed. Where is the Spider Queen? You must have lured it away somehow. Watch closely. He genuinely thought I used a dirty trick. Soloing a C-rank lord was absolutely impossible to his fragile ego. Absolutely not. I must have used a shady item to bait it elsewhere. Cheated, exploited, or something. Anything but the truth. Behind him, Manu was thinking harder, and scarier thoughts formed in that cold, calculating head of hers. Lured away, bosses are territorial. They don't just wander off because someone waved a treat. The only way this room could be empty is if the queen was defeated by Lu. She rejected that absurd thought instantly. She was an S-rank elemental saint. Even with her full team, she wasn't 100% sure she could win. How could he, the weak trash she grew up looking down on, possibly accomplish what she couldn't guarantee? Impossible, absurd, laughable, except the room was entirely empty, and I was standing right in it. Answer me, Mangta screamed, sword pointing, hands shaking. Where did the boss go? His crew fanned out behind him, surrounding me. Fierce faces twisted with frustration. They didn't fight through hell for an empty cave. I turned around slowly, looking at them all. These elites, covered in sweat and spider gunk, exhausted, furious, desperate. Then I pointed at the ground beneath my feet. A few golden sparkles still floated in the air, the last fading traces of a defeated boss dissolving into light. It is gone. Flat voice. No drama. Like telling someone the weather. Mangta's face contorted. I know what you're thinking. He just burst into hysterical laughter. You really expect me to believe you defeated the queen? The F-rank, yellow and red hair joined the comedy hour. What did he defeat it with? His feelings? That F-rank pea-shooter couldn't scratch a level 1 spider. At least make the lie believable. Manu didn't laugh. She just stared at me, scanning for any sign of bluffing, any twitch, any crack, any hint I was lying. She found absolutely nothing. I stood there like a wall, steady, calm, honestly bored. Believe what you want, I said. You're late. First clear is mine. The laughter stopped like someone pulled a plug. Mangta's face went from amused to murderous in a heartbeat. Last chance, Lu. Tell me where the boss is, or I'll make you tell me. His blue sword flared, full rank aura unleashed. He was going to attack me right here, right now. I looked at him and almost laughed. The guy sent assassins after me. Those assassins are just spider food. He spent his team's entire potion supply trying to impress a girl who was manipulating him like a cheap puppet. His grand plan was helping Manu get the first clear in exchange for a relationship she was never going to honor. And now, he was standing in an empty room screaming at the person who already took everything he wanted. Why would I waste words explaining anything to this clown? So I just stood there, silent, looking at him with the emotional investment of someone watching paint dry. That silence, that complete, utter refusal to even acknowledge his threats, drove him to the breaking point. Fine, I'll deal with you first, then find the boss. He raised his sword, and the floor lit up. Silver-white teleportation circles appeared under everyone's feet simultaneously. A warm glow wrapped around each person, and an unstoppable spatial pull grabbed hold. Newcomer exam time expired. All participants will be teleported out in 10 seconds. No, Ming Tao howled into the void. 10 more seconds. 10. That is all he really needed to strike me down. The universe couldn't give him 10 lousy seconds. What do you and I make of this? Manu's elaborate plan to use him totally shattered. You and I are watching her grand plan. Defeat the boss. Take first. Prove she is supreme. But everything crumbled into dust because of me. The exact guy she tossed aside like absolute trash. Suddenly, the flash of light got intensely blinding. Our form slowly began turning totally see-through. Right before the teleport warped us away, glanced at both of them through my visor. Mangta, the literal princess, and the S-rank, glaring at me with pure rage that could easily power a city. I stared right back, looking totally unbothered, like I had completely forgotten their names. Actually, worse, like annoying little FLIs just buzzing around my head. Mildly annoying, absolutely irrelevant. Blinding light consumed everything, then finally vanished. Solid ground beneath my boots. Bright sunlight hit me hard like a flashbang. Back outside the huge arena, thousands of people everywhere. Students, parents, teachers, wild reporters, and top recruiters from every major faction. Absolute chaos. Mangta spawned around 30 meters away, instantly barking like an angry dog. Where is he? Where is that loser? His panic squad was literally holding him back. Bro, cameras are rolling. He noticed me, snapped, and charged over. Got directly into my face. I do not care what dirty tricks he pulled. The Spider Queen takedown belongs to us. You better confess you cheated, or else. But watch closely now. Here's where it gets crazy. He stopped mid-sentence because the massive arena screen suddenly flared to life above us. Look, the official rankings. Every single eye in the plaza instantly snapped upward. Names and scores flooded down the big screen like a digital waterfall. Thousands sorted, ranked, evaluated. The dramatic countdown started from the bottom. People cheering loudly, finding their names. Groans of sadness, screams of pure joy. 10th place, Jiang Family Squad, 8,530 points. Moving up, numbers growing massive. 3rd place, Zhao Family Squad, 32,400 points. 2nd place, Ming Family Squad, 35,600 points. The crowd buzzed. Mangta puffed his chest up slightly. 2nd place, decent for their family honor. If Ming is 2nd, then 1st must definitely be Lu Manu, right? The obvious S-rank goddess. Who else could it even be? Lu Manu forever. She heard the loud crowd chanting her name, and the shadow over her face finally lifted. A tiny smile slowly returned, even missing that Spider Queen boss. Surely her S-rank powers and high-level wins guaranteed enough points for 1st. Surely that 1st place slot shined pure gold. The text loaded slowly, building drama like the system craved maximum impact. 1st place, Linu, a visual score 158,800 points. You and I both know this exact feeling. That epic movie record scratch where the entire plaza went completely silent. Tens of thousands of people simultaneously frozen. Pure silence. Every jaw in that plaza hit the floor at the exact same time. I'm surprised it did not cause an earthquake. Lu, a visual score meaning completely solo. 158,800. 2nd place, a 5-person top squad with millions in premium gear scored 35,000. I scored over 4 times that alone. Am I honestly reading that correctly? 158,000? Is the system broken? Who is Lu? Which family? Which elite school? Hold on. Where is Lu Manu? She is not even in the top 10. Someone finally spotted her name. Way below 10th. The S-rank prodigy. The guaranteed 1st place winner. The idol everyone chanted for 30 seconds ago. Not even top 10. Mangta saw it happen the exact same moment the crowd did. Her face flipped from hopeful to ghost white so incredibly fast it was crazy. The massive plaza erupted into pure bedlam. Up in VIP, top university recruiters were having absolute collective meltdowns. The head recruiter from Dragon Capital University, fancy glasses, expensive suit, definitely never sprinted once in his life. He sprinted toward his assistant. Find me absolutely everything on Linu. Birth certificate to breakfast orders. 3 minutes. War God Academy 2. Whatever it costs, get him. Arcane. Marshall University wants in. These smug elites, who normally sat in leather chairs judging teens from afar, were literally tripping over each other like shoppers at a Black Friday sale. Across the plaza, Lushan Sham was schmoozing with association executives, just waiting to celebrate his daughter's triumph. He looked right up at the screen. His proud smile vanished. Li Nu, first place. The exact kid he called useless. The kid he cruelly threw out with 2,000 yuan. The kid whose late parents actually saved his life. That Li Nu individual score, meaning he crushed it alone with the trash profession. The F-rank Gunslinger that was meant to be nothing. 158,000 points. I watched the color fully drain from Lu Shanzhang's face from across the plaza, like seeing a balloon deflate in slow motion. His executive colleagues were already giving him that judgmental look. The one saying, "So, that kid you publicly disowned just became the biggest legend in the city. How is that working out for you?" "Executive Lu, isn't that Lu, your adopted son?" one of them asked, with absolutely brutal precision. His face turned a crazy shade of purple I never knew existed. Mangta stood there, jaw totally dropped. "Trust me, you and I definitely want to see what happens next. Let's jump in." His brain completely short-circuited in silence. That Spider Queen takedown alone was worth 100,000 points, which meant my other victories, from basic grinding, stacked up almost 60,000 points alone. Way more than his entire elite squad combined. He finally understood that empty boss room. My calm voice saying, "It's totally finished. Those missing assassins who vanished without a trace? All entirely real." She bit her lip so hard it definitely left a mark. She had totally held back on scoring early, saving all her energy for that Spider Queen takedown to lock in first place. Watch closely. Her whole strategy needed that boss, and I cleared it with 3 pistol shots. Before she even showed up, her precious S-rank title, the very thing that made everyone absolutely worship her, instantly became the biggest joke in Qingjiang City. Seeing my golden name and 158,800 points, I felt nothing. Actually, wait. I felt starving. I literally hadn't eaten since yesterday. I just turned around and walked away. "Mr. Lu, wait." The Dragon Capital University recruiter practically teleported right in front of me, blocking my path, looking totally desperate. Trust me, his entire career literally depended on these exact next 30 seconds.